Hey everybody, Varun here from Language Academy. Guys, welcome back to another video. This video is going to be super special. This is going to be a complete video course after the changes. Each and everything you need to crack your PT test after the changes will be covered in this video. I made a video earlier as well, PT Full Course in 2 hours. That video got more than 3 million views. Thanks a lot for your love and support. Now, after the changes, there are a lot of additions and omissions in the test. I took the test after the changes, and by the grace of God, I've got 90 this time as well. This was my 15th 90. And those of you who are here for the first time, my name is Varun. I've been teaching PT for the last 8 years, and I've got 90 each 15 times in PT, and I've trained more than 50,000 students. And for the last 8 years, PT is my everything. My world revolves around PT, and all my experience, whatever I've gathered, I'm going to give you in this video. This video will be divided into several chapters. First of all, I'll discuss all the different question types, including the new question types. I'll be telling you what's the marking criteria, what are the do's and don'ts, what is the right strategy, what's the template which is working, and what are things you need to avoid. At the end, we'll give you a practice plan. On top of that, I'll give you an overall idea of how you have to practice, where you have to practice from, and what you have to avoid. So without any further delays, let's get into the video. I'll be sharing my screen, will give you each and everything. One thing I would request, make sure you have your pen and notepad ready so that you can take down notes, so that you don't have to watch the video again and again, waste your time. Just watch it once, take down notes and practice. To practice, you can just go on languageacademy.com.au. For each and every question type, we have integrated AI, artificial intelligence, on our website, which will clearly tell you how much score you're likely to get in the test, what are the mistakes you're making, and how you have to improve the same. The scoring on the website is pretty close to what happens on the exam day in the actual test as well. You can take as many mock tests, sectional, full, and there are a lot more features, which I'll be telling you along the way. Let's get started. I'll be sharing my screen now. Alright, PT full course in one video. First of all, let's have a look at what is PT. As most of you know, PT is an English test. This is either for your study visa, your permanent residency, your citizenship, each and everything. This video is about PT academic. PT test, like all other English tests, is divided into 4 different modules: speaking, then you have writing, then you have reading, and then you have listening. Earlier, there used to be 20 different question types, but now they have added 2 more question types in speaking module, so 22 question types altogether. This is an integrated exam. The scoring is integrated, means one section will not only just impact the section but will impact other sections as well. For example, along with speaking will give you a lot of points in listening. Listening along with listening will give you points in writing. Reading will only give you points in reading. Writing will give you points in reading. So it's very important you understand the marking criteria, the scoring algorithm, that how it works and what you have to work on. The test goes on around 2 hours 15 minutes, and there's no break in between. Once you go for the test, the very first thing you have to do, you have to check your microphone. This is the microphone which you're likely to get on your test day. The same brand, the same model as well. This is what we give out to our students as well while they practice. So make sure you check your microphone properly. It's very important that you keep the microphone properly in correct position, because there's no human who will put in effort to understand what you're trying to say. If the computer is not able to understand you, you'll be marked down on your speaking module. So don't keep the mic too close, don't keep it too far, just keep it around 4-5 fingers away, parallel to your mouth, and make sure you don't touch it again and again. Don't change the position. Once you have set the microphone, what you do is you record your voice, play it back. If you're able to listen to it back properly, good. If you think there's any issue with the microphone, make sure you ask the invigilator to help you out. Once the position is set, don't touch it, don't change it. Microphone is very sensitive. Another thing which I would recommend, which I would highly recommend you to do is do not try to speak too loud. When you go and sit for the test, there will be too many people, around 8 to 10 people in the room. Some centers are small, you'll have 5 people, but I've seen test centers where around 10 to 12 students are taking the test all together, and their speaking module will start together. Everyone will be speaking out loud, and it will be a bit of chaotic. There will be a lot of background noise. So don't worry, don't try to speak too loud. Speak at a moderate pace. The microphone has got very good noise cancellation. On top of that, they're very sensitive. They'll easily pick up your voice. So this is how your screen is going to look like. You record your voice, you play it back, make sure everything is clear 100%. Then you'll be given erasable notepad and marker. Make sure you check your markers, erasable pens properly. Be very comfortable. If you need, ask for help. Otherwise, just focus, keep calm. After this, your test will start. Your test will start. The very first module is speaking module. The first question you'll get is personal introduction. This is not marked. This is just to get you started with the test. You will be given 30 seconds to speak about yourself. You can speak anything you wish about yourself. This is not marked. So you don't have to worry much about it. You can speak anything, that what's your name, why you're taking this test, what are your hobbies, what is your highest qualification, what do you like to do in your pastime, and all that. This is not evaluated even if you do not speak anything, or even if you speak the wrong thing, or even you hesitate, or if even there are pronunciation errors, you will be not marked down, so you don't stress. This will help you get started. You have to speak anything about yourself for around 30 seconds. After this, your test will start. Speaking module has got 7 different question types. Important module will help you with your speaking and your listening score as well. The first task is read aloud, then repeat sentence, then describe image, retell lecture, and all these questions which you can see on your screen. There will be around 31-32 questions in the speaking module. The first task or the first question of the speaking module is read aloud. An easy task. This task used to be super important, but it's not that important anymore. The marking over here has changed. The contribution of this task has gone down. Earlier, this used to give you points in speaking and reading, but now this will only give you points in speaking, and that to around 7-8 points. So you don't have to spend a lot of time on this one. What happens here? You will be given a text on your screen, a passage, with 35 seconds to prepare. After 35 seconds, your recording will start, your microphone will open up, and you'll have to read the text aloud. You'll get 6 to 7 of these. This only gives you points in speaking. This is marked on 3 parameters: fluency, pronunciation, and content. I'll explain you these 3 in a bit, but this is how your screen is going to look like in read aloud. This is the passage or the text which you have got, which you have to speak. You'll be given around 35 seconds to prepare. After that, you will be given around 40 seconds, 35 to 40 seconds to read this particular passage. Most likely you'll finish in 20 seconds, and as soon as you finish, there will be next button at the bottom. You can move on to the next question. PT speaking is based on 3 important parameters: fluency, pronunciation, and content. What is fluency? Please pay attention. Fluency is not your speed. Many a times we see that students, they confuse their fluency or the scores in fluency with their speed. They think if they'll speak at a faster pace, they'll get full points in fluency. That's not the case. Fluency is about going in a flow. You have to speak at a moderate pace, not too slow, not too fast, and you have to take natural pauses as well. You have to avoid unnatural pauses and hesitations and self corrections, but you have to take natural pauses, and you have to make sure that you speak in a flow, not too fast, not too slow. Let me show you how you have to do it. If this is the passage, you just say, a Medicare Advantage plan may complement your existing VA benefits and help reduce gaps in your healthcare coverage. Enrolling in a Medicare Advantage plan. So you're taking natural pauses. You're avoiding any kind of hesitations and self-corrections, but you have to take natural pauses, and that is how you'll get full points in fluency. Next is pronunciation. Pronunciation has nothing to do with your accent. It's more about speaking clearly. Don't try to change your accent. This test is designed for non-native speakers like us. So you make sure you focus on speaking clearly. Whatever you can, speak clearly in your natural accent so that it is easily understandable by the other person, and you will be 100% fine. Make sure you pronounce the words properly, and especially speak the last part of the word as clear as you're speaking the first part of the word. Many times what we do is we focus on the first part of the word, but the last part we don't pronounce or speak clearly, or we just speak within our mouth. Make sure you open your mouth properly and make sure you pronounce the whole word properly. Next is content. Content is different in every question type. For example, it's different in describe image, different in read lecture. This I'll be explaining you along with the different question types we cover. But in read aloud, you get 5 points for content. And how do you get 5 points for content? You have to make sure you read each and every word on your screen. Do not add or omit any of the words. If I have to get full points here, this is how I'll do it. A Medicare Advantage plan may complement your existing VA benefits and help reduce gaps in your healthcare coverage. Enrolling in a Medicare Advantage plan may provide access to additional services and benefits. Dental coverage may not be covered by VA healthcare. Do not do this way. A Medicare Advantage plan may complement your existing. No. Don't go too fast, please. Moderate pace, focus on clarity, take natural pauses, you'll be 100% fine. If I have to do this one, be careful with the S sound. If there's S at the end of the word, you have to pronounce it properly. Plants play a crucial role in ecosystems, serving as a foundation and contributing to human well-being by providing resources such as food and medicine. In order to gain a deeper understanding of how plants can adapt and remain resilient in the face of challenges like climate change, scientists have developed an innovative mathematical model. Calm, easy, take natural pause at comma, full stop connector, and you'll be fine. Alright. As I've told you, fluency means going in a smooth flow, not too fast, and avoid any kind of hesitations and self corrections. If you make a mistake, go on, do not correct yourself. Pronunciation is about speaking clearly, it's not about your accent. For your content, you have to make sure you do not omit any word. Focus on the S and ED at the end of the word so that you pronounce the word properly, and if your pronunciation is good, you'll get full points in your content as well. How do you read numbers, contractions, and years? You read numbers in the standard form they're spoken in verbal English. For example, I was born in 1996. You'll never say I was born in 1996. I have $10,000. You'll never say I have $10,000. So each and every word you have to speak as you speak, as they will be spoken naturally in spoken English or verbal English. Similarly, don't will be spoken as don't. You'll never expand it. Do not say do not, or shouldn't will be shouldn't. It will not be should not. So read as it is you are speaking them in your daily life. If you have contractions or short forms like for e.g., you'll never say for e.g. in spoken English. You have to expand it, for example. This is what you have to do, and you'll be fine. You'll get 6 to 7 read aloud. Keep it easy, speak clearly, and read aloud will be sorted. The next task of the speaking module is repeat sentence, an important question type and can be slightly challenging sometimes. What happens here, you'll get a sentence or you'll have an audio with a sentence. The sentence can be 8 to 16 words long. Once the audio finishes, after half a second, recording will start and you will have to repeat the sentence exactly as you hear it. So what happens here, you'll get an audio with a sentence. As soon as the audio stops, within half a second, your recording will start, and whatever you have heard in the audio, whatever the sentence was, you have to repeat it exactly as you have heard it. You'll get 10 to 12 of these. This will contribute in speaking and listening. This is an important question type because this will give you good points in listening. This is again marked on 3 parameters: fluency, pronunciation, and content. Fluency is your flow, pronunciation is your clarity, content is slightly different over here. I'll tell you what content is. This is how your screen will look like. This is your audio player bar. Once this is finished, this will open up, means your recording has started or your recording is going on. You speak your response and then you move on to the next question. As I've told you, fluency is again about going in a smooth flow, not too fast, not too slow, avoiding any kind of hesitations and self-corrections. Pronunciation means you have to speak clearly. It's not about copying any kind of accent. Now, what is content in repeat sentence? How is content marked in repeat sentence? Content is awarded or given points out of 3. If you repeat 100% of the sentence in correct sequence as per Pearson's guideline, if you repeat 100% of the sentence in correct sequence, you get 3 on 3. If you repeat more than 50% but less than 100%, you get 2 on 3. If you repeat more than 25% but less than 50%, you get 1 by 3. If you repeat less than 25%, you get 0 on 3. Now, I have taken the test many times, right? And I can tell you, you'll get 12 repeat sentences, out of which 8 will be easy, 3 to 4 will be difficult. And every time I go for the test, it's not practically possible to repeat long sentences 100%. What I can tell you from my experience is that to get 3 points out of 3 in content, you have to just repeat 80% of the content in clear and concise manner, means you have to speak it fluently and clearly 70 to 80% of the content, and you'll get full points, because they're not really checking your short-term memory skills. They're just checking your speaking skills, right? So speak clearly, confidently, 70 to 80% of the content in a flow, you will get full points in content. All right. The whole thing is you don't have to stop. Let's say if you get a sentence, I'm going to London with my friends in a car tomorrow. You only remember I am going to London tomorrow. You don't remember with my friends in a car tomorrow, right? You've got two options. One option is to think, recall, and speak it. You will not have this much time. By the time you'll think, your recording will finish. The second best option is whatever you have, speak it clearly and confidently. Do not stop. I'm going to London tomorrow and I'm very happy. Now, what I did is whatever I was able to recall from the audio, I spoke it, and at the end, I added a filler, and I'm very happy. The filler will help me keep up my fluency and pronunciation, and the first part which I've spoken will help me with my content. So, the whole idea is listen to the sentence, understand the meaning. It's bit difficult to note down or take notes because you don't have much time to look at your notes and repeat. What you do, understand the meaning of the sentence as much as you remember, speak it clearly and confidently, and if you don't have enough content, whatever you have, speak it and then say or add a filler at the end, and you will be 100% fine. Repeat sentence, you have to practice 20 every day at least. That's how you'll be able to cope up with the difficult sentences in the test. This task will look slightly difficult in the beginning, but once you practice, you'll be 100% fine. So that was task number 2 of the speaking module. Now let's move on to the third task of the speaking module, describe image. Describe image used to be a task which was not that important before the changes, but after the changes, this task contributes heavily towards your speaking module, and I want you to practice these ones every day. This particular question type should be practiced every day. Now, one of the change which Pearson has brought forward is human involvement. Earlier, everything was checked by computer, but now what happens? Some of your question types will also be assessed along with the system, will also be assessed by a human examiner. Once you submit your response, and if the system thinks that you have used a template, you're speaking irrelevant information, or you're speaking an answer which you have memorized before even coming for the test, then your response will be passed to a human examiner for assessment. Describe image is one of those question types. Describe image, retell lecture, summarize group discussion, respond to situation from speaking, then writing summary from writing essay from writing, and listening summarize spoken text. These 7 question types will now be checked by a human examiner as well, along with the computer, if you use templates or if you speak irrelevant information. Therefore, you have to be very careful while addressing describe image. Gone are the days where in PT you used to just speak anything and you used to get the points. You can still get the scores. I have scored 90 each. A lot of students are getting 90 after the changes as well. But you have to cope up with the changes. You should know what you have to do, and that's how you'll be able to get your scores. Let's have a look at describe image. What happens here? You'll be given an image on your screen. The image can be anything, can be a line chart, pie chart, table, any random image. As soon as you get the image on your screen, you'll be given 25 seconds to prepare, after which your recording will start and you'll be given 40 seconds to describe the image. You will have 5 to 6 of these in the test. This only gives you points in speaking, but a lot of points in speaking, around 25 points. This is again assessed on 3 parameters: 5 points for fluency, 5 for pronunciation, and 6 for content. Fluency is speaking in a smooth flow. Pronunciation is about speaking clearly. 6 points in content. This is where the change has taken place. To get full points in your content, you have to make sure you cover the main elements of the image. When I say cover, you don't have to go too deep into the image, but you have to cover the main elements of the image at least, even if you give brief information about the same. Second, give an introduction. Third, give a conclusion. Fourth, go around 30-35 seconds. And fifth, you're not using a fixed template or memorized template or some kind of response which is completely irrelevant to the image. like students used to do before. That's not going to work anymore. All right. As I've explained you, fluency is about your flow, pronunciation is about your clarity, content means whatever you speak should be relevant to the image. But remember, there's no right or wrong answer. But in any case, you do not have to use a fixed answer. Do not stop, speak around 30 seconds, 35 seconds. If you have less ideas or less content, you can repeat the same content, but the content should be relevant and related to the image. Use the structure which I'm going to give you. So the structure is such this way. First of all, you introduce the image. If there are x and y axis given in the image, you tell what's on the x axis and what's on the y axis. Then you name 2 to 3 elements in the image. Explain the first element, explain the second, explain the third, tell what's the highest, what's the lowest, and then you conclude. Remember, there's no right or wrong answer, therefore you don't really need to be 100% accurate. All you need to be 100% relevant. You do not have to be accurate, you have to be relevant. Even if you give a bit of incorrect information, it's fine. They're just checking your speaking skills, not your analytical skills. All right. So in line graph, you can say maximum, minimum. Process cycle, you can say the first and last step. In random pictures, you can say what's in the background of the image, what's in the front of the image, what's at the top, what's at the bottom. For map, you can say north, south, east, west. Now let's say if you get this image, how do you explain this? First of all, let's introduce the image, the bar graph. The bar graph or the bar chart. Let's say I don't know which image type it is. You just say the image. The image gives information about language usage proportions in a multilingual country. The x-axis represents different languages, whereas y-axis represents usage percentage. Then there are different elements, or the image consists of English, Spanish, and French. English is around 10, whereas Spanish is around 15. Moreover, French is around 25 and German is around 30. However, Chinese is only 20 and others is around 15. German is the highest, whereas English is the lowest. Overall, the image is about language usage proportion in a multilingual country. So what did I do here? Introduce the image, told what's on the x and y axis, then just told or mentioned 2 to 3 elements, explain the first element, second element, third element, maximum, minimum, and then conclude. That's all you have to do as well. If this is a pie chart, the pie chart or the image or the picture or the data represented or the data given gives information or provides information about national energy usage structure. There are different categories which are renewable, oil, and coal. Firstly, coal is around 16%, whereas oil is only around 6%. Moreover, renewable is around 33% and hydro is 7%. However, nuclear accounts up to 25% and natural gas is 31%. Natural gas is the highest, whereas oil is the lowest. Overall, the image is about national energy usage structure in different categories. Now, I said, I know the highest one, I said natural gas, I think, which was incorrect. But while speaking, if you speak incorrect information, you just go on. Do not correct yourself. You don't have to be 100% accurate. You have to be 100% relevant and you'll be fine. So 25 seconds you'll be given to prepare. First thing you have to tell image type and the title, what's on the x and y axis if applicable. Otherwise, just name 2 to 3 main keywords or key points included in the image. Explain the first one, second one, third one, maximum, minimum, and do you conclude. That's all you have to do. Go around 30-35 seconds. You will be 100% fine. You can get any image type. Now, you will also get images where you're not really sure how to pronounce the words. For example, I don't know if it's Michelle or Michael, let's say, all right? You have to be smart. You do not speak a single word you're not sure about. The flowchart provides information about different members of a management team. The different members and positions included are director, assistant to director, and marketing manager. The first person in the flowchart is Jim, who is the director of the company. The second person is Chris, who is assistant to director and is the second position in the company. Moreover, at the bottom, we have got 3 people who are working in the company named Davis, Adrian, and Smith. Smith is the customer relation manager, whereas Adrian is the business development manager. Davis is the marketing manager who plays an important role. Overall, the image is about members of a management team. Now, what did I do here? I was not really sure about pronouncing a lot of names. I just made up information by myself that he's working at the top position in the company, low position in the company, same position in the company. You have to just speak relevant information on the image you have been provided and you'll be 100% fine. So this is what you have to do in describe image. Keep it easy, speak relevant information, speak clearly, take natural pauses, you will be fine. Try to go around 30-35 seconds because describe image is going to give you a lot of points in the speaking module, and do not use templates please. The fourth task after describe image, the fourth task of the speaking module of your test is Retell lecture. An important question type. What happens here, you'll get an audio or a video lecture which will go on 40 to 90 seconds. While the audio is going on, you'll have to take down notes. After the audio stops, you'll have 10 seconds to prepare, only 10 seconds, after which you'll be given 40 seconds to retell the lecture. So you'll get an audio. While the audio is going on, you take down notes. Once the audio stops, you'll be given 10 seconds to have a look at your notes. You will be given 40 seconds to retell the lecture. This task will give you points in speaking and listening both. You'll have 2 to 3 retell lecture in your test. This is again assessed on 3 parameters. 5 points for fluency, 5 for pronunciation, and 6 for content. Fluency is speaking in a smooth flow, taking natural pauses. Pronunciation is about speaking in a clear manner, making sure that you pronounce each and every word properly. Content means you have to cover all the main ideas mentioned in the lecture. Now, let's say the lecture goes on for 90 seconds. It's not possible for you to cover everything which they mentioned in 90 seconds in just 40 seconds. So, content is not about including each and everything. Content is just about covering the main idea along with providing a conclusion. You'll be given 40 seconds to speak. You can speak around 35 seconds. This is how your screen's gonna look like. Sometimes you'll just have an audio. Sometimes along the audio you'll have a picture as well. Sometimes along the audio you'll have a video as well. Alright. So what you have to do is you have to listen to the audio, take down notes. Once the recording starts, you speak and record your answer. In Retell lecture, fluency means you have to go in a smooth flow. You don't have to go too fast and you have to avoid any kind of hesitations. Pronunciation is about your clarity. Content is important because content, if you speak relevant content, then only you'll get points in your speaking and listening. There's no right or wrong answer, but you have to speak relevant information. Even if you have less content, you just repeat the same content in different way or different words, but you have to at least speak around 35 seconds. Ensure you speak relevant content. Don't use templates or pre-memorized responses. If you have less ideas or less content, or if sometimes the lecture is short as well. Let's say the lecture is only around 40 seconds. You don't have enough content. You repeat the same content in different words, different way. Use the structure, which I'll be giving you now, but don't just repeat the same sentence again and again. You don't have to worry about grammar. You don't have to worry about using fancy words. You don't have to worry about repeating the ideas. You can make grammatical mistakes, no issues in PT speaking. You don't have to use very hi-fi or fancy words. You'll not be awarded any points for vocabulary in the speaking module, all right? So this is the template which I want you to use, or the structure we can say. You start, dash was the main topic of the lecture. Firstly, he mentioned, while the audio is going on, you have to take notes. And now, earlier we used to tell you that you can just take down keywords. But now you would need to write down phrases, 4 to 5 word phrase at least. Firstly, he mentioned point number 1. Furthermore, he discussed point number 2. Moreover, another point. However, additionally, also overall the lecture was about the topic and focused on mention 2 to 3 keywords from the lecture. Let me give you an example. So let's say the lecture was about global warming. You can start, the lecture was about global warming, or global warming was the main topic of the lecture. Firstly, he mentioned that there are several reasons which contribute to global warming around the world. Furthermore, it was discussed, or he discussed, that important steps should be taken by government to reduce the impact. Moreover, burning fossil fuels and smoke from the factories is the main reason behind global warming. However, animals and wildlife are seriously impacted due to global warming. Additionally, he said that if global warming is not controlled, serious health consequences and diseases may be suffered by humankind. This sentence is a bit long. You can have small sentences still here as well. Also, necessary steps should be taken to reduce the impact of global warming. Overall, the lecture was about global warming and focused on different reasons behind it, or behind global warming. So what I did here is, and what I want you to do is, while the lecture is going on, make sure you always understand the lecture. If you do not understand the lecture, you'll not be able to make up things by yourself. You'll not be able to speak relevant content. And if you have less content, you'll not be able to go around 35 seconds. Understand the lecture, take down as many notes you can, and then make sentences by yourself. Let's suppose these are my keywords from a lecture. The lecture was about dreams. If I have to speak this around 35 seconds, see how I am elaborating the same ideas or keywords. The lecture was about dreams and mentioned that all the dreams are a collection of images and thoughts. The lecturer firstly mentioned that the dreams which we see at night are a collection of images and thoughts which come to our mind while we are awake. He also mentioned that dreams are made up of symbolic images and thoughts that we think while we are working on anything. Moreover, there are a lot of issues which can be resolved with the help of sleep, such as health diseases. However, they also focused on the importance of sleep and told that sleep is good for human health. However, not only sleep, if you take a nap, that is also beneficial for you. Lastly, they mentioned that there are a lot of memory processes which are beneficial to human health, which are relevant and related to sleep. Overall, the lecture was about dreams and sleep and mentioned a lot of advantages of dreaming and the reason behind the same. Now, what did I do? I had keywords in front of me, and even if I'm speaking 70% relevant information, 30% I'm just adding by myself to make sentences, it's fine. Understand the lecture, take down notes, whatever you have in front of you, make sentences out of it, go around 35 seconds. Give an introduction firstly, furthermore, moreover, however, to conclude, and you're done. He mentioned, he discussed, he elaborated, he told, was also discussed. Now, the structure which I have given you, it's not that you have to follow exactly the same. This is just a structure to help you frame up your sentences, keep up your fluency. If you want to have different words, different sentence structure, you can definitely do it. But you have to speak clearly, speak around 35 seconds, speak in a flow and speak relevant information, you'll be fine. Let's say the lecture is short, and if you're given an image as well, image has got some content, you can speak the content from the image as well. Retell lecture is an important question. You have to practice 3 to 4 of these every day, because this is going to give you points in your speaking and listening. So this was task number 4 of the speaking module. Now let's move on to the next task, answer short question. For PT speaking task number 5, answer short question, not an important question type. You don't have to worry much about it. You don't have to practice a lot of these. What happens here, you'll get an audio with a sentence. The sentence will ask you a question, a general knowledge based question. As soon as the audio stops, you'll have to speak a few words or give your response in few words. This only contributes towards your listening, not your speaking, so you don't have to stress much about it. A few points in listening as well, not a lot. You get 1 point for correct answer, 0 for incorrect. This is how your screen looks like. This is your audio bar. This is your recording bar. The questions will be like, which is the tallest building in the world? It's just a Burj Khalifa. There are few tricks which I use, which you can use, and which do work. Sometimes the tricks which I tell you will not make sense, but they do work, and that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm trying to tell you and teach you. All right. So you don't have to give a long, complete statement or a long sentence response. You have to just give your response in 1, 2, or 3 words. If you know the answer, say the answer. If you don't know the answer, don't just stay quiet, or don't just say, I don't know. If you know the answer, speak the answer. If you don't know the answer, just repeat the main keywords from the question. For example, which is the tallest building in the world? You don't know the answer, just say the tallest building in the world. This has worked for me. This works for everyone. Do not just say, I don't know. Don't just keep quiet. All right. Next, sometimes you'll have two options in the question. Burj Khalifa or Petronas Tower, which is the tallest building in the world? You don't know, repeat both the options or speak both the options. That's what you have to do. You don't have to spend a lot of time practicing answer short questions. You'll get 5 to 6 of these. This will only contribute towards your listening. I don't really want you to practice a lot of this. Just a few days before your test, look at the prediction file we post on YouTube, or which is available on languageacademy.com.au. Just cover those, you'll get a good idea. And even if you miss a few answer short questions, you'll be fine. So don't worry much about practicing these ones. These are few examples of questions which you can be asked. What is the first paragraph of an essay? Introduction. which is the symbol which is used to complete a sentence, full stop or a period. That's all you have to do about answer short questions. And now let's move on to the sixth question type, summarize group discussion. Task number 6 of the speaking module, summarize group discussion. This is a new question which has been added recently. What happens here? You will get an audio, a group discussion between 3 people, and the audio will go on around 3 minutes. While the audio is going on, you have to take down notes. After the audio stops, you'll have 10 seconds to prepare. After which, you'll have to summarize whatever was spoken in the audio, and you will have to speak around 2 minutes. You'll be given 2 minutes to give your response. This will contribute towards your speaking and listening. You'll have 2 to 3 of these, and this is an important question type. So you'll get an audio whereby there will be 3 speakers. They'll be discussing any particular topic. The audio will go on around 3 minutes, which is a lot. While the audio is going on, you take down notes. After that, you'll only have 10 seconds, and your recording will start after 10 seconds. You'll have to summarize or retell whatever was discussed in the discussion for around 2 minutes. You'll be given 2 minutes. You can just speak around 90 seconds, 1.5 minutes. This is again marked on 3 parameters: fluency, pronunciation, and content. 5 points for fluency, 5 for pronunciation, and 6 for content. Fluency is about your flow, speak in a flow, not too fast, not too slow, take natural pauses. Pronunciation is about speaking clearly. Content here is similar to Retell lecture. You don't have to cover each and everything, but you have to provide an introduction of what the discussion was about, then cover the main highlights of the discussion, provide a conclusion, and go around 90 seconds at least. As I've told you, there's no right or wrong answer. You have to speak phrases or content which is relevant to the discussion or the audio. You can't just speak any random keywords which you used to do before the changes, but that will not be applicable. You have to speak sentences relevant or with information related to the lecture or the audio. You have to go around 90 to 120 seconds. You have to make sure you speak relevant content from the audio. If you have less content, you repeat the same in different way or different words, but do not stop. Use the structure which I'm going to give you, but do not repeat the same sentence again and again from the structure. I'll give you 2 templates for this. I'll highly recommend you to use the first one. You always start off your response with giving an introduction. The discussion was mainly about, or the discussion was about, you tell the main topic. Then you divide your response between 3 speakers. First speaker, 3 points. Second speaker, 3 points. Third speaker, 3 points. The first speaker discussed about point number 1. He further mentioned point number 2, and then you can add another sentence. After that, the second speaker focused on 1 point. Dash was further explained in the discussion by the second speaker. Add another sentence. The third speaker also shared information about whatever he was talking about. He, she provided details about this. Another sentence. Towards the end, the discussion focused on. Overall, the discussion included important details about any 2 points. Now, whatever you say, the first speaker focused on this, the second speaker focused on this, you don't really need to be accurate. Honestly, I've tried this, right? It's not that someone will check, okay, was this actually spoken by second speaker? Now, what you need to do is you need to take down notes. The first part, introduction. Second part of the notes you have, just make it up that yes, the first speaker said this, after that he focused on this. The third part, you can just focus or relate it or attach it with the second speaker. The next part with the third speaker, and then you conclude. All right, I'll show you how you have to do it. All right, let's say this is a sample answer, right? These are the notes which I've got. These are the notes which I've got. Similar to Retell lecture, you just elaborate the same. The discussion was about the climate change and global policies which are implemented to combat climate change. The first speaker discussed that the main reason behind climate change is the rising global temperature, mainly due to greenhouse gases. He further mentioned that industrial pollution also plays an important role in the climate change and leads to damage of the environment. After that, the second speaker focused on the impact of climate change on developing countries, such as melting of glaciers and rising sea level. He further explained that in the discussion, they also mentioned about international agreements like the Paris Agreement. The second speaker after the third speaker. After the second speaker, the third speaker shared information about the need of renewable energy investment. He provided details about government responsibilities in implementing the different solutions. Towards the end, the discussion focused on individual efforts such as recycling and reducing the consumption of greenhouse gases and reducing and controlling the pollution from the factories. Overall, the discussion was about climate change, the different policies which are enforced to combat climate change, and the cooperation to fight it. Now, what I did is I just look at the keywords which I have got or marked on the screen, and I just elaborated the same. The same thing I want you to do: understand what they are talking about in the discussion, take down notes. First part intro, second part first speaker said, then second speaker said, then third speaker said, 2 to 3 points each, and then you conclude. This will take some time to develop. I'm used to it because I do it on a daily basis. For you to be clear, be fluent, and speak around 90 to 120 seconds, you'll need some practice. But if you practice, you'll be fine. There's no right or wrong answer. Take down notes based on your understanding of the lecture and the notes. Make up a story, speak it. Don't worry about grammar, don't worry about vocabulary, do not use fancy words, keep it simple, speak in a flow, take natural pauses, and you will be fine. This is an important question type because this is going to give you points in speaking and listening. So you have to make sure you practice these ones on a daily basis. This is the second template, but in here you have to memorize a lot. You can have small keywords or phrases here. You don't have to speak a lot from the lecture here. The points here can be small phrases, but it will be a bit difficult for you to memorize this one. So I'll recommend you to use template 1, but if you're finding it extremely difficult, you can go with this as well. So you speak it this way. The discussion was about the topic. There were several speakers sharing their points on just short keywords here, then another keyword here, 2 keywords here. There was also focus on one keyword or 2 keyword or a small phrase, which was an important part of the discussion. So you go this way. This will also take you around 90 seconds, but will be slightly difficult for you to memorize. This is a sample answer which you can have a look at. What you have to focus here while the audio is going on, focus on the main topic. Try to write down supporting points like facts, examples, and ideas 6 to 9. If you miss some details, don't worry about it. Just focus on the main idea. If you have less content, you just rephrase in your own words, but do not stop. Use connectors firstly, furthermore, moreover. After that, manage your time, speak around 90 seconds, understand the lecture, listen actively, try to take the main idea so that you do not lose points in content. Focus on note taking, practice this one, focus on your flow and your clarity. And if you have got a lecture which you're not familiar about, don't stress, just use phrases and whatever you have understood, repeat it in different words, you'll be fine. All right. So that was task number 6. Summarize group discussion, an important question type you have to practice on a daily basis. Now let's move on to the last task of the speaking module, the 7th task. This is also a new task which has been added by PT recently. An easy task: respond to a situation or responding to a situation. What happens here? You'll get an audio along with the transcript of the audio on your screen. While the audio is going on, you have to take down notes. In the audio, they will give you a situation, any situation. And then once the audio stops, you'll have 10 seconds to prepare, and then you'll be given 40 seconds to respond to that particular situation. For example, if they give you a situation that you're sitting in the library and there is a person who is making a lot of noise, you want to go and talk to that person and politely ask him to not make noise, right? How do you respond? So you have to just give your answer to this particular situation. So as soon as your recording start, you can say things like, "Hi there, I know we are sitting in a library and you are practicing something, but this is a quiet area and I seriously request you, or I please request you to keep your volume a bit low as I am preparing for an assignment which is due tomorrow. If you want to speak, I would appreciate if you can move into group collaborative area where you're allowed to speak. This will help you and me to progress on our assignments. I hope you understand." This is what you have to do, right? Easy, but it will take some time to practice. This only contributes in speaking. You'll have 2 to 3 of these. Again, assessed on 3 parameters: 5 points for fluency, 5 for pronunciation, and 6 for content. Fluency is your flow, pronunciation is your clarity, and content is about speaking relevant information. There's no right or wrong answer. The computer evaluates you. You do not have to focus on being 100% accurate, but yes, you have to speak or respond to that particular situation. It's not that they're asking you something else and you're just speaking whatever you wish to. Even if you're not really sure, do not stop. You have to go around 30 seconds at least. If you have less ideas, if you're running out of ideas, repeat the same ideas in different words. Use the structure which I'm going to give you. Don't worry about grammar, vocabulary, or repeating the same ideas in different words. All right. This is how your screen is going to look like. You have your audio bar, then you have got the transcript on the screen. Whatever they'll speak in the audio will be given on your screen as well. All right, there are two ways of attempting this particular question type. First is the logical way or the ethical way, where you actually understand the situation and respond to it. The second one is speaking using a structure and a template. All right. Approach one is understanding the situation and addressing it logically using connectors when moving from one sentence to another. For example, the situation is you saw a sign in your apartment building that a neighbor Fred is selling his car. The car is perfect for you. You call Fred to ask about seeing the car in person, but he's not answering or he doesn't answer. Leave a message. What would you say in the message? So if I have to respond to this situation, I always start, "Hi Fred, I tried to reach out to you in regards to the car which I saw you're selling. The car seems perfect to me. However, I would really appreciate if I can get a chance to inspect the car in person. This will help me monitor or have a look at the condition of the car and see if it is actually suitable for me. I tried to call you, but you didn't answer. Maybe you were busy. I came to know about the car through the apartment sign, which was placed by you probably. Let me know when you are available so that I can come and inspect the car. Thank you." That's all. That's all you have to do. This is the logical way of doing it. Approach two is you use this structure. This is proven, tested, and tried. However, you have to be careful when you use it. You have to make sure you add relevant content here. The situation presented is about first sentence, whatever the situation is. While considering this, we should also focus on second sentence on your screen. In addition, it is important to take into account third sentence. Therefore, we need to address key factors 2 to 3 words. Finally, the situation should be handled with the focus on first sentence. So now let's say this is the situation. The transcript will be given on your screen as well. The situation here is about a sign which I saw, which you saw in the apartment building that a neighbor Fred is selling his car. While considering this, we should also focus on the fact that the car is perfect for me. In addition, it is important to take into account that I should call Fred to ask about seeing the car in person, but he did not answer. Therefore, we need to address the key factors, including leaving a message, car, and neighbor. Finally, this situation should be handled with the focus on the sign in the apartment building. Now, this is making sense as well. If you can easily attach the phrases with the structure I've given you, go with this. If you're comfortable speaking on your own, go for that. Speak in a flow, avoid hesitations and self corrections, speak clearly, avoid any kind of self corrections, go around 30-35 seconds. Even if you're not 100% accurate, you will be fine. That's all you have to do. That is what respond or responding to a situation is about. This is an important question type. You'll get 2 to 3 of these, and this will contribute towards your speaking. And this will be the end of the speaking module. Speaking is the backbone of your PT test. Speaking not only helps you with the speaking scores, but will also contribute significantly towards the listening scores. So make sure whatever I've told you about using the templates, the structure, about fluency, pronunciation, and daily practice, you follow that and you'll be fine. We'll now move on to the next module, which is writing. Alright, guys, writing module is an important module, and there have been a lot of changes in writing as well. There was a time in PT where students used to write anything, completely irrelevant information as well, and they used to get full points in writing. But that's not the case anymore, especially in writing essay. You have to write relevant information. In summarize written text, you have to be careful when you add content, and human involvement is there in writing essay in Summarize written text as well. Earlier, there used to be 6 questions which used to contribute towards the writing module. Now there are only 4, 2 from writing and 2 from listening. The writing module in PT test consists of 2 different question types. The first one is Summarize written text. The second one is essay. The weightage of these 2 question types has gone up as well. So you have to be very careful what you have to do, what you have to avoid, and you should know what changes are there. I'll be sharing my screen. We'll cover each and everything you need to crack your PT test to get 90 in writing, everything which I did and which you have to do as well. Let's start with the writing module. Alright, the first task of the writing module, Summarize written text. What happens here, you'll get a passage on your screen. The passage can be up to 300 words. You have to read it and write a summary of the passage within 5 to 75 words and using one sentence. One sentence means one full stop. So you'll be given a passage which you have to summarize in one sentence, 5 to 75 words. You will have a text or passage up to 300 words on your screen. You have to read and summarize the passage within 10 minutes. You'll need to write the summary in one sentence, means only one full stop. This will give you a lot of points in writing and reading. You'll have 2 of these in your test. You'll get 2 summarized written text. This is assessed on 4 parameters. 4 points for content, 1 for form, 2 for grammar, and 2 for vocabulary. To get full points in your content, what you have to do? Now let's say if you have been given this passage in your test, you cannot include each and everything or all the information given in the passage in just one sentence. How do you get full points in content? You have to make sure that you include or you cover all the main information given in the passage within your answer. The main idea should be there and some supporting ideas should be there as well. I'll give you a structure which you have to use which will 100% guarantee full points in content. 1 point in form is pretty simple. You have to write between 5 to 75 words and just one sentence. Even if you write one word more than 75 or less than 5 words, you'll straight away get 0 in form, and 0 in form means no further marking. You get 0 here as well. You have to only use one full stop at the end of the sentence. Grammar, you get 2 points for this. You get 2 on 2 if you don't have any grammar mistake, 1 by 2 if there's one grammar mistake, more than one grammar mistake, 0. You get 2 points for vocabulary as well. For this, you have to use academic words, avoid any kind of slang language in short forms. So in order to get full points out of summarized written text, you have to include the main idea with some supporting ideas. Write between 5 to 75 words in one sentence. Make no grammar and spelling mistake and use formal language. What you have to do, how you have to approach this. As I've told you, you have to only use one full stop. Do not use any kind of question mark or exclamation as well. Write between 5 to 75 words. I would recommend you to write around 60 to 65 words. That way you can cover enough ideas and content. Satisfy the marking criteria. You can use the same words and phrases from the passage. You don't have to be 100% accurate. There are 2 ways of doing it. Method 1 is you read and understand the passage and then write a summary of the passage in your own words, but that's pretty difficult and you're likely to make a lot of grammar and spelling mistakes that way. Method 2 is something which I want you to do, which I did in my test as well, which all the students who got 19 writing did as well. What you do is you read the passage, identify or figure out 3 to 4 sentences which have got important information. When I say important information means the main topic, information related and relevant to the main topic, or words which are repeated again and again in the passage, or proper nouns. So sentences with proper nouns, sentences with important keywords, sentences with information relevant and related to the main topic are important. So you read the whole passage, figure out 3 to 4 sentences, join the sentences using the connectors. Most likely, most of the times, the first sentence is always important because that will introduce the main topic. So try to include that unless and until it is completely irrelevant. So what you do is select 3 to 4 sentences, join them using the connectors, change 2 to 3 words. That's all. Remember, after the changes, you cannot just connect any 2 random sentences. the sentences should make some sense as well and should be important. For example, I got the passage here. I selected first sentence here from here till here. Second was from bacteria till here, and the third one was this one. I tried to select another sentence here at the end, but the sentence was too long and I would have exceeded the word limit of 75. So that's why I'm not connecting four sentences here. I'm just connecting three, two long and one short. So once you have figured out the sentences, what you do is you write the first sentence from here till here, put a comma, and then you write the second sentence from bacteria till them. Bacteria till them. Bacteria, they have capitalized B. We will not capitalize B because they have capitalized because they're starting a new sentence. But for us, this whole summary is just a one sentence. But if something in the middle of the sentence is capitalized, then you have to capitalize. For example, if there would be a word China here, China, and if you're writing China here, you have to capitalize it. After that, first sentence, comma, and second sentence, then you put comma, furthermore, comma again, third sentence. Once you are done, make sure you do not exceed 75 words. I'll not connect the fourth sentence here because I'll exceed the word limit. After this, you have to change 2 to 3 words. For example, instead of combat, you can write fight. Instead of alter, you can write change. Instead of humans, you can write living beings. Alright, that's all you have to do and you will be 100% fine. I'll repeat again, listen carefully what you have to do. You will get the passage on your screen. You have 10 minutes. There's no rollover time. Means if you, let's say, finish this in 7 minutes or 6 minutes, you will not get extra 4 minutes in the next question. So always use complete 10 minutes. First 1 to 2 minutes, skim, read the passage, figure out 3 to 4 important sentences, type the first sentence, comma, and second sentence. Look at the word limit. If you have connected two sentences and you are already on 70 words, do not write the third sentence, put a full stop. Let's say you're just on 40 words, put comma, furthermore, comma, one more sentence. If you still have word limit left, add the fourth sentence. Otherwise, after the third sentence, put a full stop, change 1 or 2 or maximum 3 words, and you're done. It's still easy. This is 100% working, but there are 2 to 3 things which you have to be very careful. You have to select sentences which are important. You have to join the sentences with the connectors and stay within the word limit. Third, you have to change 2 to 3 words and you will be completely fine. That's all you have to do. If you do this, this is what I did. This is what all the students are doing, and this will 100% get you the scores as well. All right. So this is summarized written text. Might sound very easy to you that what is this guy telling us? Will this even work? See, this is working. That's what I'm telling you. Earlier, before the changes, we used to ask students to connect any sentences, and we even used to ask not to change any words. But now please change 2 to 3 words and also select sentences carefully. If you do so, you'll be fine. You'll get 2 summarized written text. Manage your time properly. First 1 to 2 minutes to figure out the sentences, next 5 to 6 minutes to type, and at the end at least 2 minutes to proofread so that you don't make any grammar and spelling mistakes. Only one full stop at the end. Start with the capital alphabet. If something in the middle of the sentence is capital in the passage, such as a proper noun, you capitalize that as well. When you join first and second sentence, just use comma and, but when you use second and third, put comma, furthermore, comma, third sentence. And if you're writing four sentences as well, you can write comma, moreover, comma, fourth sentence. If sentences are extremely short, you can join 5 sentences as well. In that case, 4 sentence, comma, however, comma, fifth sentence, and you'll be fine. You'll get 2 of these. Do this carefully. You will get full points from this in reading and writing as well. That was task number 1 of the writing module. Let's move on to the second task of the writing module, which is writing essay. Alright, task number 2 of the writing module, writing essay. What happens here? You'll be given an essay topic on your screen. You'll have to write an essay on the same topic between 200 to 300 words in around 20 minutes. You'll be given 20 minutes for this. This will only give you points in writing. You'll only have one essay in your test, and this task is evaluated on 7 parameters. Earlier, this task used to be around 15 points, but now this has increased to 26 points. So the weightage of this task has gone up and content part has increased significantly. You get 6 points for content, 2 points for form, 6 for development, 2 for grammar, 6 for linguistic range, 2 for vocabulary, and 2 for spellings. This is how your screen is going to look like. This is your essay topic. This is where you type your answer. This is your word counter, and this is your timer as well. Now, how do you get full points in writing essay? To get full points in writing essay content, to get 6 on 6 in your content, you have to make sure you address all the parts of the essay topic or essay prompt. Let's say if they have asked you, mention the advantages and disadvantages and discuss your opinion. So in this case, you have to mention the advantages, disadvantages, and opinion. If you partially address the essay prompt, you lose around 50% of the points in the content. To get full points in content, you have to make sure you carefully understand what the essay is looking for, because irrelevant content will be heavily penalized. So it's important you understand what the requirements of the essay topic are, and then write relevant information addressing each and everything asked in the essay prompt or essay topic. Next is form. You get 2 points in form. Pretty straightforward. You have to write between 200 to 300 words. If you do so, you'll get full points in your form. Ideally, I would suggest you to write around 250 to 70 words if your typing speed is good. If not, you can write around 220 words as well, but make sure whatever you write is error free, there are no grammar and spelling mistakes. Okay. You get 6 points for development, structure, and coherence. For this, you need to make sure you write your essay 4 to 5 paragraphs, and your essay or your ideas go in a flow, and you use connectors between different paragraphs. 2 points for grammar, pretty straightforward. If there are no grammar mistake, 2 by 2, 1 grammar mistake, 1 by 2, more than 1 0. 6 points for journal linguistic range. For this, you need to use appropriate vocabulary. This means you are able to convey your ideas, whatever you're trying to say is easily understandable by the other person. For this, you need to make sure you have appropriate word choice, and if there's any word you're not really sure how to use it, avoid it. Just to use fancy words and not make any sense will not help you, right? Only use words you're comfortable with, and you know how you have to put them in a sentence. So to get full points in linguistic range, use appropriate words and make sure you're able to convey your ideas efficiently. 2 points for vocabulary. To get full points here, make sure you use academic words, the same word again and again unless it is the main word of the essay prompt. Also, avoid using any kind of contractions and slang language. 2 points for spellings, straightforward. No spelling mistake, 2 by 2. 1 spelling mistake, 1 by 2. More than 1, 0. One important thing about spelling is in English, you can write spellings according to 2 different styles, UK style and US style. In PT, you can either follow UK English or US English, but you cannot mix both. Let's say if you write the first word as UK and the second word in US style, you will be losing a lot of points for the spelling component. In PT, you have to be consistent, either follow UK or US, but do not mix. The difference between 2 type of styles you can see on the screen. Make sure you follow either of these 2. So this was the marking criteria. This is a screenshot from our website. The website now checks for the templates as well. All the templates which are banned by PT are also banned on Language Academy. So whenever you submit your answer, you will get to know how many points you've got, why you have lost points, in-depth explanation. Also, you'll have sample response for each and every question and suggested ideas as well. What are the things you need to take care of in essay? You have to write between 200 to 300 words. If your typing speed is good, 250 to 270 words, otherwise 220 to 30 words. You can have agree disagree essay, problem solution essay, discussion essay as well. Out of the 20 minutes, 30 seconds to 1 minute to read the essay topic, next 15 to 16, 17 minutes to write, and at least 2 to 3 minutes to proofread. You have to address each and everything asked in the essay properly. You have to understand the essay and add relevant ideas. Use the structure which I'm going to give you, but unlike earlier, there was a time when students just used to write template, add few words, and they used to get full points. That's not the case anymore. You have to add relevant ideas as well. I'm going to give you a structure, but you have to understand it and use it properly. This is the essay template which I used in the test where I got 90. A lot of students after the changes used the same and got 90. It's very important you understand the essay template. Don't just cram it and type it. Unless and until you do not understand how you have to use it, you'll not be able to get your desired scores. All right. So introduction. The growing influence of essay topic. You have to write essay topic here, whatever the topic is. Let's say social media on our lives has sparked various debates. The issue is particularly significant because of its impact on students and youngsters, affecting both individuals and communities. In this essay, I'll discuss the advantages and disadvantages of social media. And if they have asked you your opinion in the question, then you write this sentence and provide my opinion. If your opinion is asked, otherwise, you just put a full stop here. Then you write advantages here, disadvantages here. One of the key benefits of social media is you write point number one, then you explain this point number one. This is evident by the fact that explain it. Various studies have shown that social media improves, because we're talking about benefits here, whatever benefit is. Additionally, another advantage of social media is point number two. Therefore, the advantage of social media should be considered with greater significance. Now, let's say if it's a cause and effect essay, then you'll not write advantage and disadvantage, you'll write cause and effect here, main cause is here, then cause is here, cause is here. If it's problem and solution, then you write problem and solution here, one of the major problems here, and then studies have shown that essay topic means social media leads to. So in cause and effect, you'll write causes here, effect here. In problem and solution, problem here, solution here. In advantage, disadvantage, advantage here, disadvantage here. We are assuming this is an advantage, disadvantage essay on social media. We have written the advantages. Now let's come on to disadvantages. However, along the benefits, there are drawbacks of the social media or social media. If this would have been cause and effect, however, along with the causes, there are several effects of social media. If this would have been problem and solution, however, despite the problems, there are solutions to the social media, whatever they have asked you or whatever the topic is on. One significant drawback, we are talking about disadvantages here, of social media is one drawback. This is particularly evident in situations where you just explain it. Furthermore, one more point, create challenges which impacts both individuals and society. Thus, it is essential to implement strategies to address these issues. This is for advantage, disadvantage. This is for cause and effect. This is for problem and solution. In conclusion, I believe that social media has both advantages and disadvantages which should be considered. Moving forward, it is important to optimize the benefits of social media to ensure positive outcomes for individuals and society as a whole. So this is an example of advantage and disadvantage essay. You can pause the video and have a look at it. Agree and disagree essay, discussion essay, right? And then we have got problem and solution essay. Now let's say this is a problem and solution, right? So you'll use all the things from here. Problem and solution, major problem leads to, if you look here, the growing influence of traffic congestion in cities has sparked various debates. This one more thing, don't just write one word here. When I'm writing topic, you can write a small phrase as well. Your essay should make sense. This issue is particularly significant because of its impact on urban life of people who are commuting. In this essay, I'll discuss the problems caused by traffic congestion and suggest solution to address them. In here, we mentioned the problems, in here the solutions, and this is the conclusion. Around 266 words, and that is it. Cause and effect, we have mentioned the causes here, one of the main causes. Here, we have mentioned the effects, and then a conclusion. See, it's very important. It's extremely important that you understand the template first. If I have given you a template, it's not that you're just blindly typing and it will make sense. You'll not get the scores. You can use the structure or the template which I have given you, but your idea should be there, and you have to add ideas such a way that they are actually making some sense. It's not that you write anything you wish to and you'll get the scores. You have to make sure whatever ideas you're adding to the template or the structure actually makes sense and make a meaningful essay addressing everything asked in the essay prompt. So it's basically a structure where you have to add proper ideas. First 1 to 2 minutes, understand the essay topic, write down few ideas, then 15 minutes to type, 15 to 16 minutes, 2 minutes again to proofread to check your spelling and grammar mistakes. Write down around 250 to 60 words if you can. If you do not want to use a template, if you do not want to use a structure, completely fine. I'll show you how you have to write essay freestyle by yourself. Your introduction will be 4 sentences. First body paragraph 5 sentence, second will be 4 sentence conclusion. In introduction, you just talk about journal about the topic. Journal statement about the topic. Second sentence will be first side of the argument, whatever they're talking about. Then other side of the argument, and fourth sentence, what the essay will include. First body paragraph, you'll discuss the first side of the argument. You introduce what's the argument, mention one point in favor, let's say advantages, explain the advantage, give an example, give another advantage. Second paragraph, you talk second side of the argument, let's say disadvantages in this case. Introduce the disadvantages, mention one disadvantage, explain it, give an example. You don't really need to mention the second disadvantage here. Then 2 sentences to conclude, give an overall conclusion, and 1 suggestion if you can. This is easy if you can write everything by yourself. If you look here, this is what I've got. The essay was about discuss the advantages and disadvantages of social media. 1 journal sentence about social media. First side of the argument is it plays a tremendous role in bringing the world together. Second is, however, there are a lot of they can be inauspicious consequences, means bad impacts of social media. Fourth is what the essay will cover. This essay will discuss the merits and demerits. Now in here, we'll discuss the first side of the argument. Introduce it to commence. Social media provides a lot of advantages. Explain one advantage or provide one advantage. Explain it, give an example, second advantage. In here, we'll mention the other side, which are disadvantages. On the darker side or on the other side, there are a lot of harmful consequences. Mention one consequence, explain it, give an example. That's it. Conclusion, 1 journal conclusion and 1 suggestion. That's all you have to do and you will be fine. You can either use the structure which I provided you, or you can write the essay by yourself. In any case, now there will be human interference, especially if you rely too much on template. You are going to lose a lot of points. So I really want you to add relevant content. They're not too strict, but if 90% of your response is template, 10% are ideas, you're not going to get the scores. At least 50% should be ideas, 50% should be template. That's how you get the scores. At least I'm saying. All right. So summarize written text. Select 3 to 4 sentences. Join using connectors. Less than 75 words. Between 50 to 70 words should be okay. Change 2 to 3 words. You'll be fine. Essay. Read the essay topic. Write down ideas. Address it properly. Use a structure or use the freestyle way. But make sure write around 260 to 270 words. Address the topic properly. 4 to 5 paragraphs. No grammar and spelling mistakes. Proper vocabulary. Don't really need hi-fi or fancy vocab, but you should be able to express yourself and you'll be fine. That is it. That is the end of writing module. You'll get 2 summarized written text and 1 essay in your test. And if you follow what I've told you, 100% you'll get your desired scores. We'll now move on to the third module of the test, which is reading. Alright guys, the third module of the PT test, reading, and there have been some major changes in reading. First one is time management or the time allocated. Earlier you were allotted 30 minutes for 15 to 16 questions. Now for around 15 to 17 questions you'll only have 22 to 23 minutes. Next, earlier you used to get a lot of points from speaking and reading. Now reading itself will contribute heavily towards the reading module. So the reliance on other modules has gone down. To get full points or to get a higher or a superior score in reading, you'll have to work hard on reading. Reading has got 5 different question types. Altogether you get 15 to 17 questions, 22 to 23 minutes and overall time as well. It's not that you'll get 2 minutes per question or 1 minute. You have to manage your time yourself. First one are reading drop down blanks. You'll have 5 to 6. MCQ multiple answers 2 to 3. 2 to 3 reorder paragraphs. 4 to 5 reading blanks drag and drop. And 2 to 3 MCQ single answer. The first question or the first task is reading drop down blanks. What happens over here? You'll get a passage on your screen with 4 to 5 blanks. Each blank will have 4 to 5 options. Based on the meaning of the passage and grammar rules, you have to select one option which will go in that particular blank. The task will contribute towards the reading module only, not in any other module. Before, this used to contribute in writing as well, but now only in reading. You have to focus on the meaning or the context of the passage, grammar rules, and accordingly you'll have to eliminate the options. This is how your screen is going to look like. This is a screenshot from a website. On the website, when you practice or submit anything, let's say if you're not sure that why your answer is incorrect and this answer is correct, you just click here. You'll get to know the right answer and the explanation. Plus, you can watch audio and video explanation of each and every blank, which is done by one of our experts, which clearly tells you that why the correct answers are the correct answers, what are the rules which are applicable, and what are the things you need to take care of. All right. Before we move on to this particular question type, I need you to know a few rules. You should know a few grammar rules which are repeatedly used in this particular task and throughout the reading module, and few basics as well. Please make sure you take a note, because subconsciously we all know this, but we haven't done this for a long time. So it will take some time for you to get back on track or get on track. So let's have a look at few of the basics of grammar. What's a noun? Noun is a word that signifies a person, place, thing, or an idea. Adjective is something which will give you more information about noun. For example, this is a car, car is a noun. This is a red car, red is an adjective. Words which give you more information about noun are adjectives. Verb, any word which shows an action is going on or taking place. Any action is a verb. I'm running, I'm playing, running and playing, verb. Adverb, a word that describes a verb, adjective, or another adverb. He runs quickly. Runs is a verb, quickly is an adverb here. Pronoun, a word that replaces a noun to avoid repetition. For example, Rohan is a good boy. He plays in the school. He over here is a pronoun. Possessive pronoun, a pronoun that shows ownership or possession. The pen is mine. The car is yours. Words like this are possessive pronouns. You should know all these and how to identify the same, because grammar rules are based on these words or these type of words. Okay. There are three forms of verb. The simple form, also called as the first form. Second form, which is generally the past form. And third form, which is either ed or ing form of verb. First form is the purest form, such as destroy, collect, run, and all. Second form is past form, destroyed, collected, ran, and all. Third form can be ed or means past participle, or the ing form as well. Destroying, playing, running, and all. In English, sentences can be written in two ways or two styles: active voice and passive voice. Active means, first of all, a sentence is always formed of a subject, verb, and object. Subject is a person, verb is the action or the thing he is doing, and object something on which the action is being performed. Okay. So normally sentences in active voice are subject plus verb and object. For example, Rohan is playing in the ground. Rohan is subject, playing is verb, ground is object. Mark is playing cricket. This is active voice when subject comes first and object at the end. But when object comes first, then verb, then subject, this is called passive voice. Object comes in the beginning of the sentence. For example, Mark is playing cricket is active voice. Cricket is being played by Mark. Cricket is being played by Mark. Object is first, verb in the middle, subject at the end. This is passive voice. So when subject is in the beginning, active voice, or when object is in the beginning, subject is at the end, passive voice. These are few important grammar rules you all should know. I need you to note these down. Remember, if there's any blank after an article, articles are a and the, it will always be a noun. If you have a blank after a and or the in the blank, you will always use or have a noun. I've just explained you what a noun is, a word that signifies or names a person, place, or thing. Jared had a dash who helped in the time of need, had a friend. Noun. I have a dash in my garage. I have a car in my garage. Car is a noun. If there's a blank after a or an, it will always be a singular noun. A or an is used for a single thing. He is a boy. You'll never say he is a boys. So with a and an, always singular noun. With the, you can have singular and plural both. Either of these two. Next rule is if there is a blank between an article and a noun. So let's say a dash car. It will always be an adjective. Why? Because adjective always gives you more information about noun. A red car. He played a dash role. Article, noun will have an adjective here. A great role. So any blank between article and noun will always be an adjective. If there is a blank after possessive pronoun, words like his, their, her, our, mine, it will always be a noun. This is her car. This is your toy. Any blank after possessive pronoun will always be a noun. Remember this thing. If there is a blank between a possessive pronoun and a noun, what it will be? Adjective. What's an adjective? Words which will give you more information about noun. This is your dash car. This is your beautiful car. This is your red car. She admired your dash performance, stellar performance, amazing performance. So any blank between possessive pronoun and noun will be an adjective. If there is a blank after helping verb, what are helping verb? Words like is, am, are, was, were. If there is a blank after helping verb, it will be either in ed form or ing form. In active voice, when subject comes first, it will be ing. In passive voice, when subject comes at the end, object comes in the beginning, it will be likely ed form. So after helping verb, either ed or ing form. If there is a blank after be or been, again, third form means ed form or ing form. We have been playing in this ground for 3 years. We have been working on this project. This should be completed in 3 days. So after be or been, ed or ing form. This is a very important rule. I want you to be very careful about this. If there's a blank right after the word to, it will be first form of verb. I'm here to play cricket. You'll never say I'm here to playing cricket. Certain measures must be taken to rectify the situation. I'm here to represent my client. First form. If there is a blank after a modal verb, words like can, could, may, might, would, it should be first form. Remember, we can complete this. You'll never say we can completed this. So any blank after these words should be first form. If there is a blank after for or while, ing form. Remember this thing. For completing the assignment, we'll need the book. While playing the guitar, I met with an accident. For and while, ing form, remember. Next rule, remember, if there's any blank after has, have, had, it will most likely be a verb ending with ed. They have completed their homework. He has finished the assignment. Or third form as well. Alright, so ed or third form. If there's any, this is important, extremely important. If there's any blank after it, which or that, the verb will end with s. It plays an important role. That plays an important role. Something which happens every day. So word or a blank after this will end with S. It, which, and that. Now, what are the things you need to take care of in reading drop down blanks? You do not have to spend more than 2 minutes per passage. Time is limited. The first thing what you have to do as soon as you have the passage on your screen, what you have to do, see, it's not just about grammar rules. Let's say I've given you 12 grammar rules. It's not that these rules will apply straight away and you'll be able to sort it out. The most important thing is context. If you do not understand what's going on in the passage, doesn't matter how many grammar rules you know, you'll not be able to solve it. So first thing what you do is understand what's going on. 30 seconds, skim the passage, try to figure out the scenario, whether it's positive, negative, neutral, what scenario is it. Okay, then come on to first blank, see if grammar rule is applicable, use it, eliminate the options, give your best shot, correct the best possible option. Let's say if you're not really sure about the first one, skip it, move on to the second one. Skip it, not sure about second one as well, finish third and fourth first so that you have a better understanding of the passage, and then jump back to the first and second one. If you feel the first one incorrect, second one incorrect, you'll have a wrong understanding of the passage and you'll not be able to solve the passage properly. So focus on context, then use the grammar rules to eliminate the options, and then come back to the passage. Fill the ones you're sure first, the ones you're not sure, fill them at the end. Never leave anything unattempted. There's no negative marking. You get 1 point for each correct answer, 0 for incorrect. All right, this contributes in reading. Do not leave anything unattempted. As I've told you, use the context first, understand the context, use the rules, eliminate the options, and then select one option. Fill the ones you're sure first and then come to the remaining ones. Practice 20 every day. If you look here, this is your screen. 30 seconds, skim the passage, understand what they're talking about. Now you have to fill this particular blank. Don't read the whole thing again. Maybe read from here till here. Then, based on the meaning of the passage and grammar rule, see which one will go. You're not sure, skip, come on to the second one. Don't read the whole passage again, just a few words before the blank and few words after the blank. You're not sure about this, fill this one, this one, this one first, then these ones, but finish everything within 2 minutes. So it's more about understanding the context, using the grammar rules, and it's honestly about practice. There are no shortcuts here, so make sure you practice 20 every day. Let's move on to the second task of the reading module. MCQ multiple answers. Not really an important question type. I don't really want you to spend a lot of time here. You get 2 to 3 of these. What happens here? You'll get a question on your screen along with 5, 6 or 7 options and a passage with information. You have to read the question, understand what the question is asking, then locate the information in the passage and select the correct options. More than one response is correct, but there is negative marking as well. What happens here? Now, as I've told you, this is not an important question type. I would say do not spend more than 30-40 seconds. First thing you have to do, read the question, see what question is asking you. Locate the information they have asked you in the question in the passage. Highlight and locate the information in the passage. Compare the information you've got in the passage to the information in the options and then select the right answer. There's negative marking here. You get 1 point for each correct option, -1 for incorrect, minimum is 0. Let's say you selected 2 options, both are incorrect. You will be marked negatively within the task, but overall from this particular question you'll get 0, you'll not get -2. Therefore, never leave anything unattempted. If you're not sure, at least select one option. This only contributes towards your reading. You'll have 2 to 3 of these. So what you do is, first of all, read the question. According to the text, which countries listed drive on the left? Now, don't look at the options. From the passage, we have to see or locate countries which drive on the left. Let's say we have figured out it's Japan, Samoa, and New Zealand. Yes, we have figured out. Come on to selecting Japan, New Zealand, it's not there. Samoa, A and D, move on. So read the question, see what they're asking you, find the information here and select the options. If you're confused, select one best possible option, but do not leave this unattempted. Do not spend more than 30-40 seconds on one question, please. So that's MCQ multiple. I don't really want you to practice a lot of these, not an important question type. Let's move on to the third question, which is important, reading reorder paragraph. Now, reading reorder paragraph is the third task of your reading module, what happens here, you'll get 4, 5 or 6 sentences on your screen which will be in the wrong sequence, in random order or jumbled up. You have to read all the sentences, understand the sequence, and locate or arrange them in the correct sequence on the right hand side. You will have 4 to 6 sentences in a jumbled order. You'll need to read the sentences, understand the context, means you have to understand the sequence or series of events and arrange them accordingly. You have to follow the rules which I'll tell you, and you will be able to solve this as well. Before we look at the rules, let's have a look at the marking criteria. In reading writing blanks, you used to get 1 point for each correct blank, 0 for incorrect blank. In MCQ, you used to get 1 point for each correct option, -1 for incorrect. But in reorder, marking is different. You get 1 point for each correct pair. Let's say your question is in this form, means the jumbled up order is B, D, A, E, C, and correct order is A, B, C, D, E. You will get 1 point for arranging your answer in correct pair, 1 point for each correct pair. Means AB will be 1 pair, 1 point. BC will be 1 pair, 1 point. CD will be 1 pair, 1 point. DE will be 1 pair, 1 point. Let's say if you answer this way, CADBE. CA is not a pair, AD is not a pair, DB is not a pair, B is not a pair. Even though B is the last sentence here and in the correct sequence as well, you will not get any points. If you have got this as your answer, AB 1 pair point, BD is not a pair, DC is not a pair, C is not a pair, you get 1 point. If you have got ABECD, AB is 1 pair, 1 point, not a pair, not a pair, CD is a pair, 2 points. If everything is correct, 1 pair, 2 pair, 3 pair, 4 pair, 4 points. Minimum is 0, you only get points in reading. There is no negative marking, so never ever leave this task unattempted. Now, how you have to solve it? The first thing what you have to do once you get this question on your screen, you have to be very careful with time management in reading. You do not have to spend more than 1.5 minutes. The first thing, out of the 4, 5 or 6 sentences you have been given on your screen, the first sentence you have to do is you have to find an independent sentence, means the sentence which is the first sentence of the sequence which you can use to start the sequence or your conversation. What is an independent sentence? An independent sentence is a sentence which introduces the topic, can stand out by itself, and is not dependent on any other sentence for information. Means it is a complete piece of information and can be used to start off a topic. How do you identify an independent sentence? This sentence will give you a journal idea. When you start off your topic, you just talk journal things. You don't go too detail into anything. This will give you a journal idea and will introduce the main topic. It will mainly consist of or will introduce a person, any technical term, any book title, research, place, situation, or concept. This sentence will not be dependent on any other sentence for any kind of information. So it will be a complete piece of information and will have general information and might introduce a person, place, any organization, research, or a situation. Another few characteristics of the independent sentence: it will never refer back to any of the previous sentences or previous piece of information, because it itself is the first sentence of the sequence. So it will never start with words like he, she, them, those, it, they. Normally it will not start with words or transition words or contradicting words like firstly, secondly, however, therefore. There's one important rule which will not only help you with the independent sentence but will help you overall. This is called the acronym rule or the short form rule. Let's say you've got 2 sentences. One sentence has got short form, let's say UN, the other one has got United Nations. Doesn't matter what information they're talking about, the sentence with the full name will always come before the sentence with the short form. It's not that they will come one after the other, but definitely the one with the full name will come first in sequence and this will come somewhere later in the sequence. So let's say if you're confused between two sentences, whether the one with short form will be the first sentence or independent sentence or the full form, it will always be full form. Let's say one sentence says Dr. Michael Clark, other says Dr. Clark. Michael Clark will come first, Clark will come afterwards. If you still cannot find the independent sentence, what you do? Consider each and every sentence, look at each and every sentence and see if you can use that particular sentence to start your conversation with a stranger, with someone who has got no background knowledge of what you're talking about. If you can use that sentence to start off your conversation, that is an independent sentence, because an independent sentence does not require any prior information. And if you are able to start your conversation or your talk using that particular sentence, that's the right independent or the first sentence of your sequence. How do you find the following sentences? You have to keep these rules in mind. Rule of article, very important rule. You will use this a lot. There are two type of articles in English: indefinite and definite. Indefinite is to introduce something. Articles are a and an. Definite article is the which is used for particular things. If there are two sentences, one sentence uses article a or an with the object, and the second sentence uses article the with the same object. Always the sentence with indefinite article will come first and definite article, which is the, will come afterwards. Why? Whenever you introduce anything for the first time, you use indefinite articles. When you talk about the same thing, you use definite articles. For example, I bought a new car. The car is brown in color. You'll never say I bought the new car. A car is brown in color. A or an is used to introduce something. The is used to talk or refer back to the same object. So if there are two sentences, one uses a or an with the noun or object, the second one uses the. Doesn't matter what information they're talking about, the sentence with a or an will come first and the will come afterwards. It's not that they have to come one after the other, but the one with a or an will definitely come before in the sequence and the will come after in the sequence. You will sometimes be given time periods and dates as well, which you can use to figure out the sequence, but you should not blindly rely on time periods and dates. For example, let's say there are three sentences. One is 1960, 1980, and 1990. Don't just place 1960 first, 1980 afterwards, 1990 after. No. The sentence or the sequence or your paragraph can go from past or can come from past to present, but can sometimes be present to past as well. So use time periods and dates to your advantage, but do not blindly rely on the same. Okay. If there are any kind of examples, remember examples will always come after the explanation. Alright, so these are few of the things which you have to use to figure out your independent sentence and the following sentence as well. Now let's say if you have figured out your first sentence, how do you figure out or find out the following sentences? There's a rule in English. Rule says that in English sentences always form this way: subject, verb, and object. For example, Rohan is playing in the ground. The rule says the object in the first sentence always becomes the subject in the second. Means whatever object is here, it will become subject in the next one. But it's not that straightforward. All right. For example, the rule says, let's say the first sentence is I am playing cricket. The next sentence will start with cricket. Cricket is played for 100 years. And then next sentence will talk something about 100 years. This is the rule, that the object in the first sentence becomes the subject in the second. But the rule is still applicable. However, it's not that straightforward. The rule applies in this way. Remember, the next sentence will always give you more information about the previous sentence. For example, if you're talking about cricket in the previous sentence, the next sentence will provide you more details about it. So once you have figured out the independent sentence, to figure out the next or to find the next sentences, remember the next sentence will give you more information about the previous sentence. So let's say you have figured out the sentence number 1. Now you have got two sentences, 2 and 3. You're not really sure if 2 will go after 1 or 3 will go after 1. Out of these two sentences, 2 and 3, whichever explains or elaborates or provides more information about the things you have discussed in the first sentence will come after 1 and then the remaining sentence. If you look at your screen, I've told you the next sentence will always give you more information about the previous sentence. For example, if these are 4 sentences, this is how you'll be arranging them. The women built a strong wall. We are talking about a strong wall here. The next sentence will talk about strong wall. It. It was built. It is singular. Wall is singular as well. It was built a year ago with the help of three workers. Three workers, all of them had years of experience. Had means past, this is present. They all are still working on the new project. So this is how you solve reorder paragraphs. Remember all the rules, but most importantly, you have to understand what's going on, what is the right sequence of events, what event is taking place. Figure out the independent sentence, and then with the remaining sentences, see which one is giving more information about the previous one, which is more detailed, which is more general. General sentence is always on the top, detail at the bottom. You always start with an overview and then provide more in-depth details. So this is what you have to do. You figure out the first sentence, then the following sentences. If you're not really sure about the following sentences, try to make as many pairs, because you're marked in pairs. The more pairs you have, you'll be able to get a higher score. Remember, reorder paragraph can be tricky, so do not waste more than 1.5 minutes on one reorder. You'll get 2 to 3 of these. This is an important task, as this will give you around 8 to 10 points in your reading module. So make sure you practice accordingly. This was task number 3, reorder paragraph. Now let's move on to task number 4, reading drag and drop blanks. Alright, task number 4 of the reading module, drag and drop blanks. What happens here? This is pretty similar to task number 1, drop down blanks, slightly different. What happens here? You'll get a passage on your screen with 4 to 5 blanks, and at the bottom of your screen you'll have 7 to 8 options. This will only contribute towards your reading module. You'll again have to focus on the context, the grammar rules, and eliminate the options. This is how your screen looks like. You'll not have 4 options for each blank, rather you have around 6-7 options at the bottom of your screen. You have to read the passage, select the right word which will go in the right blank, and then move on. In here as well, you get 1 point for each correct blank, 0 for incorrect. There's no negative marking. You'll have 4 to 5 of these in your test, and at max you have to spend 1.5 minutes on this particular question type. You have limited time. This is again a screenshot from a website. If let's say you go wrong anywhere, you just click on question mark. You'll get to know why your answer is incorrect and why the correct answer is the correct answer. Plus you can watch a video whereby our experts will explain you the whole passage, why the correct answers are the correct answers, and applicable rules. What all rules are applicable here? Exactly the same rules which we have discussed in the first task, the drop down blanks. I'll not be explaining all these rules again, as I've already told you. This task is pretty similar to what we did in drop down blanks. What you need to do, grammar rules are important, but the most important thing is understanding the context. 1.5 minutes per passage, 10 to 15 seconds, skim the passage, understand what they're talking about. Come to the first blank, read few words before and few words after the blank. See according to the meaning of the passage which word will go from the options. If you're confused, leave it. Come on to the second one. Still confused? Fill the third, fourth, and fifth one first, then come to the first and second one. Because if you, let's say, fill the first one incorrect, and the word which you have filled in the first one was the answer to the third one, you will get first one wrong and you will get third one wrong. Plus you'll have wrong understanding of the passage, which will likely worsen the situation, and you'll get a lot answers incorrect. So what I want you to do is understand the context, come onto the first blank, use grammar rules and the contextual knowledge or meaning of the passage to solve the first, second, and third. If you're confused, leave, come on to fourth and fifth, fill the one which you are sure, then come back to the first, second, or third, whichever are remaining, and then you move on. Do not spend more than 1.5 minutes. Do not leave anything unattempted. There's no negative marking. As I've told you, no more than 1.5 minutes per passage. Understand the context, use the rules, eliminate the options, and then select the best option. Fill the ones you are sure first, and then the remaining ones. Never ever leave anything unattempted. This only contributes in reading. Practice 15 to 20 every day. This was the fourth task of the reading module. Now let's jump on to the last task of the reading module, which is not an important task again. Similar to MCQ, multiple answers, MCQ single answer. The difference here is you'll have a shorter passage and you'll only have 4 options, only one option is correct. What you have to do here, read the question, see what the question is asking you, locate that information in the passage, and once you figure out that information in the passage, compare it with the options and select the right option. Do not spend more than 30 seconds per question because you don't have. I understand you'll be like, what are 30 seconds? How can we solve in 30 seconds? Yes, you can take 30-40 seconds, but you have limited time. I cannot do much about it. I don't really want you to miss out on your questions, especially in MCQ multiple. MCQ single is the last question of the reading module. Let's say you're left with 3 minutes and you've got 2 MCQ single answers. You can spend 1.5 minutes. But let's say if you're left with 1 minute and you've got 2 MCQ single answers, you should be solving one question or one passage in 30 seconds. Read the question first, highlight or figure out the keywords, means information they're requesting or asking from you. Locate the information in the passage, compare and select the right answer. You get 1 point for correct answer, 0 for incorrect. This only contributes in reading. You'll have 2 to 3 of these in your test. This is how your screen's gonna look like. For example, in this passage, according to the passage, which of the following is true? Now, out of the 4 sentences, you have to figure out which one's true. You quickly skim the passage, understand it, read the options, select the one which you think is likely to be the right answer, and move on. In questions like these, where you don't have a keyword or where you don't have a particular piece of information which you have to find in the passage, you can take around 50 seconds because you'll not be able to solve everything in 30 seconds. But let's say if they've asked you according to the passage, which book was written by Albert Einstein? Now you know what you have to look in the passage. You have to look for the book written by Albert Einstein, locate Albert Einstein here, compare the information or whatever information you have with the options, select one and move on. This is what you have to do in the reading module. Reading is an important module, slightly challenging because there are no shortcuts, no loopholes, no tricks here. You have to work hard, you have to understand what the passage is, you have to apply grammar rules, but you have to put in hard work, and if you put the hard work in the right direction, 100% success will be yours. There are 5 different question types, and the most important thing after the changes in reading is time management. Do not spend more than 2 minutes on reading drop down blanks, 1.5 minutes on reorder paragraph, 1.5 minutes on drag and drop blanks, 30 seconds on MCQ multiple, and 30 seconds on MCQ single per question, please. All right, practice every day, focus more on both the reading blanks and reorders. Do not worry much about MCQ multiple and single, and you will be fine. Revise the rules I've told you, understand the same, and you will be fine. Let's move on to the last module of the PT test, listening, which is again an important module for this test. Alright guys, module number 4, last module of the PT test, listening, an extremely important module and easy as well. You have to be very careful with the changes in the listening module, the marking criteria and time management as well. There are 8 different question types in listening. 4 are extremely important, 4 are not important at all. The 4 not important ones, you don't have to spend a lot of time while practicing, and you have to make sure you do not spend a lot of time in the test as well. These are the 8 different question types which you will have in the listening module. Apart from these 8 question types, there are 4 questions from speaking which will give you points in listening. Listening is divided into 2 parts. Part 1 is summarize spoken text, whereby you get 1 question and 10 minutes for summarize spoken text. Next is section 2, where you get an overall time of 13 to 19 minutes and around 11 to 14 questions. You have to manage your time by yourself. If you do not manage your time yourself, you'll not be able to finish last 2 questions, which are extremely important. I'll tell you how much time you have to spend on each and every question so that you do not waste your time and you get the most out of it. Let's get started. The first question of the listening module, summarize spoken text. What happens here? You'll get an audio lecture. It can be a lecture, conversation, interview, podcast, which will go on for around 40 to 90 seconds. While the audio is going on, you have to take notes. Once the lecture stops, you'll have to write down the summary of the lecture in 50 to 70 words. You'll have 10 minutes to complete this task, which includes the audio time as well. So you basically have 8.5 minutes. You will only get one summarized spoken text in your test, and this will contribute in listening and writing. This is how your screen is going to look like. This is the audio bar, these are the instructions, the timer, and this is where you type your or write your answer. While the audio goes on, you have to take down notes. This is marked on 5 different parameters, 4 points for content. This used to be 2 points, but now this has gone up. 2 points for form, 2 for grammar, 2 for spelling, 2 for vocabulary. To get full points in your content, you have to make sure you include all the key ideas from the lecture in your answer. Sometimes lectures are very long, and it's not practically possible to include each and everything in your response. In that case, you have to make sure you just cover the main ideas. So the main idea and 2 to 3 supporting ideas in your response. That is how you get full points in content. To get 2 points out of your form, you have to make sure you write between 50 to 70 words. If you write less than 50, more than 70, you get 1 by 2. If you write less than 40 words or more than 100 words, you get 0 here. If you get 0 in form, you'll get 0 in these 3 parameters as well. So ideally, I would recommend you to write around 65 words and be careful with your grammar and spellings as well. You get 2 points for grammar, pretty straightforward. If there are no grammar mistake, 2 by 2. One grammar mistake, 1 by 2, more than 1, 0. Spelling, same. 2 points for spelling. If all the spellings are correct, you get 2 by 2. One spelling mistake, 1 by 2. More than one spelling mistake, 0. Same thing for vocabulary. You have to be very careful. You don't have to use very fancy words. However, you have to use academic words, complete or full form. You do not have to use slang language or short forms or abbreviations. So academic words, avoid slang language, avoid contractions or short forms, and use full forms. So basically include as many ideas you can between 50 to 70 words, no grammar and no spelling mistakes, and write academic formal words, you'll be fine. For summarize spoken text, as I mentioned, you'll get points in listening and writing both. Note making strategy, how you have to take notes. As soon as the audio starts, try to write down as much as you can. Before the audio starts, you'll have around 6 seconds. In those 6 seconds, make sure your notepad and pen are ready. Try to write at least 6 to 7 keywords or group of words. Focus more on important names, nouns basically, dates, place, things. Write down short forms in your notes whenever possible so that you can take maximum notes. If you miss something, don't worry about recalling it. No one's expecting you to write 2 minutes of lecture within 50-60 words. You have to just write the main ideas, okay? If you make mistakes while taking down notes, ignore. Try to take notes in a neat and clean manner so that it's not difficult for you while you are rewriting your summary, okay? Before I tell you how you have to write your summarized spoken text, remember English, as I've told you earlier as well, English can be written either in UK style or US style. In PT, both the styles are valid. However, in any one task, you cannot mix both of these. You can either use this or this, but you cannot mix both of these. So make sure you just stick with one. Also, throughout English, throughout the language, make sure you always, doesn't matter where in the sentence they come, always capitalize first alphabet of proper noun, such as name of any person, any place, any organization, such as Western Sydney University, name of a university, book title, weekdays, month, religion, nationality, language, any particular event which will not take place again. For example, World War II, there will never be a World War II again. The next one will be World War III. Name of subjects are not capitalized unless they are name of languages. So for example, I'm studying English and maths. English E will be capital, but math M will not be capitalized. Take a note of this, will come in handy, will be super important when you go for the test. Now, there used to be a time where we used to tell students that yes, use this particular template, add few keywords, and you're done. But human interference is there in summarized spoken text as well. And I've seen many a time students are losing points in summarized spoken text when they're just adding few keywords. If you want to use a template, make sure you don't just add single word keywords, add phrases. But the safest option is writing sentences and using the structure. You can use template, but you have to add proper keywords over there, proper phrases which are meaningful. Rather, you should use this, a structure where you introduce the main topic, write 2 to 3 points from the lecture, and then provide a conclusion. You start this way. The lecture was about whatever the topic of the lecture is. Then first point, furthermore second point, however third point, and then you provide a conclusion. If you look here, this is one of the sample answers which I have written for you. The lecture was about globalization and its impact on the business. Firstly, they mentioned, or he mentioned, or she mentioned, or firstly, the lecture mentioned that globalization leads to an increase in trade all over the world. First point. Furthermore, another point, businesses can serve customers in different parts of the world. However, he discussed the impact of globalization on small and local businesses who find it hard to survive. To conclude, globalization plays an important part in the development of the economy. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, you'll have to frame sentences. This is the safest way, because if a human is checking your response and he figures out that you're just using a template and your answer is not making sense, you're straight away going to get zero. Therefore, I'll highly recommend you to use this structure where you write meaningful and relevant content and something which actually makes sense as well. You give an introduction, 2 to 3 points relevant and related to the lecture, a conclusion, and you have done your job. Let's say there's a word aeroplane. You're not really sure about the spellings, do not write it. If you have less ideas, you write the same ideas in different words, but do not write any word you're not sure, because spelling mistake will not help you with content, plus you lose a lot of points in writing. So around 65 words, relevant content, no grammar and spelling mistakes, and use academic words, please. All right. This is what you have to do in Summarize spoken text. Let's move on to the second task of the listening module. And after Summarize spoken text, for Summarize spoken text, you'll get 10 minutes, after which an overall timer will start, and you have to be very careful with time management. All right. Second question of the listening module is listening MCQ multiple answer. You'll get an audio here. As soon as you move on to this question, you'll have 5 to 6 seconds to read the question. After 5 to 6 seconds, the audio will start. Based on the audio and the question you have been asked, you have to select 1, 2, or 3 options out of the given options. You'll be given 5, 6, or 7 options. More than one option will be correct. Now, I would not want you to take any notes in MCQ multiple, because this is not an important question type. After the audio, you do not have to spend more than 10 seconds. Remember, in PT listening, you cannot move on to the next question until the audio finishes. So anyway, you'll have to listen to the audio. What I want you to do is, before the audio starts, you have 6 to 7 seconds, sometimes 5 seconds as well. Read the question and try to skim the options so that you know what the lecture is going to be about. After that, what you do is focus on finding the information asked in the question, listen and understand the lecture. Meanwhile, as soon as you figure out or listen to the right piece of information in the lecture, select the right option, and as soon as the audio finishes, take 5 to 10 seconds to reassure you have selected the right option and you move on. All right. There are a few things which I want you to take care of in MCQ multiple answer. While the audio or the lecture is going on, focus on the meaning. Do not focus on the keywords. Don't think that, yes, there's a word, let's say there's a word modern production in the option and he also spoke modern production in the audio. Let's select this one. Correct answers are mostly paraphrased, means meaning will be same, words will be different. So don't just go behind the keywords, go behind the meaning. Before the audio start, read the question so that you know what part of the lecture you have to focus on. After the audio, just 10 seconds, please. You get 1 point for each correct option, -1 for each incorrect option. Minimum is 0. Let's say you select 2 options, both are incorrect. You won't get -2, you'll just get 0. So in any case, do not leave this unattempted. If you're not sure about, a lot of options, just select the one which you think is the right and move on. This only contributes in listening. You'll have 2 to 3 of these, not an important question. Don't practice a lot, but practice 3, 4 every day so that you are familiar with this question type and you are able to give your best. See, when I say this is not an important question type, means you don't have to invest a lot of time practicing these ones. Obviously, everything adds a bit or contributes a bit, and we have to give 100% to everything out there. But some questions consume a lot of time but have very less ROI. They don't really give a lot of return on the time we put in. So I don't really want you to miss the important questions which are at the end of the exam in order to get these ones correct. So give your best, but do not spend a lot of time. This is MCQ multiple answer. Now, third question of the listening module, an important question type, listening fill in the blanks. There has been one change here as well. What happens here, you'll get a passage on your screen. The passage will be missing a few words. An audio will be played for the same passage, but in the audio they will speak everything on the screen, including the words which are missing on your screen. You have to type in the word which will be missing in the blank which is given on the screen. The word will be spoken or will be there in the audio which will be played. So a transcript of the recording with several blanks will appear on the screen. You will get a recording, means the audio, which will be 30 to 60 seconds in length for the same transcript. While the audio is going on, you have to take down notes of the missing words. After the listening, you have to type the missing word in each gap. You'll have 2 to 3 of these, means 2 to 3 passages. Each passage will have 4 to 5 blanks, and this only contributes to listening now. Earlier this used to contribute in writing as well, but this will now only contribute towards listening. You get 1 point for each correct blank, 0 for incorrect. There's no negative marking, so never ever leave anything unattempted. What are the right strategies here? Before the audio starts, you'll have 7 seconds. In those 7 seconds, get an idea of how many blanks are there, 4 or 5 or 6, so that you know how you have to take notes, and try to read or skim the passage a bit as well. Utilize this time to skim the passage and get an idea of the passage. Once the recording starts, keep your eyes on the screen and keep your hands moving. What we do is, as soon as we get the answer to the first blank, we take off our eyes from the screen and start taking notes like this. And then when we look at the screen, we lose the track of the lecture. Always keep your eyes on the screen, hands moving. Once the audio is done, look at your notes, type your answers back, proofread the spellings, and you're done. Do not type straight away. Take your notes in the notepad you have been provided. While you type in your answer, make sure the spellings are correct, especially words ending with S and ED. The word was displays and you have written display without the S, you'll not get points. You will only get points for words you have spelled 100% correct. If there's any proper noun, such as the name of a person, place, organization, book title, you have to start with a capital alphabet. If there's any blank after full stop, question mark, or exclamation, you have to always start with the capital alphabet as well. Listening fill in the blanks, an important question type. You have to practice 5 to 10 of these every day. Spellings are important here. This will only contribute towards your listening. Before the audio starts, skim the passage while the audio is going on. Keep your eyes on the screen. Keep your hands moving. Take down notes. And once the audio finishes, type your answer, proofread, and move on. An important question type, make sure you practice this one every day. So that was task number 3 of the listening module, listening fill in the blanks. Task number 4 of the listening module is highlight correct summary. What happens here? You will again get an audio. The audio here is slightly long, around 60 to 90 seconds. And then along with the audio, you'll have 4 options on the screen. Out of the 4 options, you have to select one option which actually summarizes the lecture properly. You will have 4 options on the screen. Paragraphs means the options are longer here, around 60 words. And audio related to the options will be played. The audio can go up to 90 seconds. You have to select one option which best summarizes the audio of the lecture. Summary means brief of the lecture. You don't have to focus on this fact that the option should include each and everything. It should just be a summary of the lecture. You'll get 2 to 3 of these in the test. This will contribute in listening and reading as well. Not a lot of points, but a few points in listening and reading. This task is of average importance, not highly important. So you don't have to spend a lot of time practicing this, but you have to practice 3 to 4 every day. Okay. You get 1 point for correct answer, 0 for incorrect. There's no negative marking. You'll be given points in reading and listening from this. Now, what are the tips and strategies? Before the audio starts, you have 6 to 7 seconds. In those 6 to 7 seconds, skim the options so that you have an idea that yes, this is what the lecture is going to be about. While the lecture is going on, because the lectures or the audio here is slightly long, I would recommend you to take notes. Don't worry about writing each and everything down, but try to write as much as you can so that after the audio finishes, you have some idea of what was there in the lecture. Understand the message, understand what the lecture is talking about. Take notes, but only take down keywords. Then once the audio stops, compare your notes with the information given in the options and then eliminate the options. How do you eliminate the options? There are 4 different type of options. First option is true, means everything in your notes is there in the option. Don't eliminate this one. Another option type is true with extra information. This means everything in your notes is there, but there is some extra information which was not there in the audios and is not even in your notes. Eliminate this one. True without the key idea means this option has got each and everything, but the main idea is missing. The main idea of the lecture is not there. Eliminate this one. False means something else is there in your notes and you have written wrong information. Eliminate this one as well. So you have to select that option that actually summarizes the main idea of the audio. Remember, highlight correct summary can be slightly challenging because the options are long and the audios are long as well. Before the audio starts, quickly skim through the options so that you have an understanding of what the lecture will be about. After that, once the audio starts, try to take down notes and understand the audio as well. Once the audio finishes, compare each and every option with the notes you have got and understanding of the lecture. Eliminate all the options with incorrect information, additional information, or without the key idea information or the main information. Only select one which actually summarizes and covers the main, if not all, but the main information of the lecture. Select that one. You can take around 30-40 seconds on one highlight correct summary because options are long here, but do not take more than 30 to 40 seconds. This is slightly important, but not extremely important, so you don't have to put in a lot of time, but you have to give your best. You'll get 2 to 3 of these, and this was your highlight correct summary. Now let's move on to the 5th question type of the listening module, which is MCQ single answers. Now MCQ single answer, the 5th task of the listening module, pretty similar to MCQ multiple answer. The difference here is you only have 4 options and only one option is correct. In here as well, as soon as you move on to this question, you'll have 5 to 6 seconds before the audio starts. Once the audio starts, you have to listen to the audio, and based on what is asked in the question and the audio, you have to select one correct option. What you have to do before the audio starts, read the question that what they are trying to ask. Once the audio starts, do not take down notes, understand the meaning, and while listening to the audio, keep on looking at the options as well and select the right one. Okay. If not, you can take up to 10 seconds after the audio to select the right option. Remember, before the audio starts, read the question. The correct option is mostly paraphrased, so do not go behind the keywords. Means if they mentioned eyeglass or eyeglasses holder in the audio, you see eyeglasses holder here. Don't just blindly select this one. Understand the meaning of the lecture, that is crucial. After the audio, do not spend more than 10 seconds. This is not an important question type. Now you'll be thinking this guy is telling this is not important, this is not important. What's important? In listening, 8 questions are there. 4 are important, 4 are not important. Summarize spoken text is important, listening fill in the blanks are important, and the last 2 question types are important. If you spend time on these questions which are not important, you'll not have enough time for the last 2 questions. And if you do not do well in the last 2 question types, things can be really difficult for you. That's why I'm telling you not to spend a lot of time here. You'll get 2 to 3 of these. There's no negative marking. You get 1 point for correct answer, 0 for incorrect. If you're not sure, select one option, but never ever leave anything unattempted. This only contributes in listening module. What you have to do again, understand what is asked in the question, listen to the audio and select one option which actually answers or addresses the question. After the audio, no more than 10 seconds. Task number 6, the last question which is not important again, select missing words. What happens here? You'll get an audio lecture. The topic of the audio lecture will be given. You'll have 4 to 5 options, but the last few words, last 3 to 4 words of the audio will be replaced by a beep. Based on the understanding of the audio, you have to select one option out of the given options which will go at the end of the lecture, which will replace the beep. As I mentioned, in this task, you'll get an audio lecture which will be 30 to 60 seconds long. Last few words of the audio will be missing or will be replaced by a beep. You will have 3 to 5 options to choose from. Before the audio starts, you'll have 7 seconds, 6 to 7 seconds. In these 6 to 7 seconds, what you do is you look at the topic of the lecture or the audio and read the options as well. This only contributes to listening. There's no negative marking. You'll get 1 to 2 of these ones. You get 1 point for correct answer, 0 for incorrect. There's no negative marking. Points only in listening. Before the audio starts, what you have to do, you have to skim the options. While the audio is going on, pay attention to the meaning of the lecture. It's very important that you understand the context. If the lecture is talking positive about something, if the lecture is talking negative about something, if the lecture is contradicting about something, you have to understand the context properly. Because let's say if the lecture is talking positive about something, the last few words will be positive as well. If they're talking positive about something, but in the middle they contradicted, the last few words will be negative. So it's important you understand the context. Another thing, apart from understanding the context, you have to make sure you note down the last few words. Why? Let's say you have got last few words as they did not beep. You can compare or attach all the options with they did not and eliminate the options based on grammar as well. Also, you can use the lecture topic. With each audio, you'll be given lecture topic. If you're confused between two options, select the one which is relevant or related or which relates to the lecture topic. Never ever leave this unattempted. There's no negative marking. Now, what are the strategies which you have to do, which you have to follow? Before the audio starts, look at the topic of the lecture and the options. While the lecture is going on, understand it, focus on the meaning so that you know which context is the lecture going on. Note down last few words of the lecture before the beep. With the last few words, attach all the options and eliminate based on grammar. Next, use the context. If it's positive, select the positive one. If it's negative, select the negative one. If you're still unsure, select the one which is related with the lecture topic. For example, you've got 4 options and the last few words were I am going to. You'll never say I'm going to swimming, so this is off. I'm going to shopping, off. Either it will be swim or play. Now you're confused between swim and play. If the lecture was about swimming, swim. If the lecture was about playing, play. If you're still unsure, look at the topic of the lecture. If it's about swimming, select this one. Playing, select this one, and you're done. Select missing word. Not an important question, but I want you to give your best. What you have to do, once before the audio starts, look at the topic, options. While the audio is going on, understand, note down 2 to 3 words, eliminate based on grammar, on context. Still unsure, select the one which is related with the topic given at the top and you'll be fine. After the audio, do not take more than 10 seconds please. Not an important question type. After this, 2 question types are extremely important and I want you to have enough time for these question types. Alright. So the 7th question of the listening module is listening highlight incorrect words. An important question type because this will give you points in listening and in reading as well. So what happens here? You will get an audio lecture. Along with the audio lecture, you'll have the transcript of the same lecture available on the screen. Few words in the transcript will be different as compared to the audio. You need to select or highlight the words which are different or incorrect as compared to the audio and the transcript. When we compare the both audio and the transcript, different words you have to highlight. You get 1 point for each correct selection, -1 for each incorrect selection, and minimum you can get is 0. This task will give you points in reading and listening, 2 to 3 of these in your test. When I say minimum is 0 means you have selected 2 options, both are incorrect, you won't get -2, you'll just get 0 out of it. Alright. So this is an example of what your screen will look like, audio and the transcript. Let's say instead of dog, instead of code, they're saying boat, you have to highlight it. You get 1 point for each correct selection, -1 for each incorrect selection. What are the tips and strategies which you have to follow? Before the audio starts, quickly skim the text to get some understanding of what the lecture or the audio will be about. Words with similar pronunciation, especially nouns, adjective, adverbs, will be different, like coat and boat, something like that. Do not worry much about singular plural. Do not worry much about articles and helping verbs. If you're not sure, do not select because there's negative marking. Now, what you need to do is, as soon as the audio starts, make sure you move your cursor along the lecture. As soon as you listen something else, you can read something else, select it and move on. If you're unsure, don't stop and think, move on, come back to it at the end, because if you're thinking about one word, you'll miss the whole lecture. There can be 4 incorrect words, 5 incorrect words, 6 incorrect words. There's nothing fixed. So let's say if you get 3 incorrect words, don't think there will be 2 more. Let's select any 2. If you're not sure, do not select. This is an important question type. You have to practice 5 to 10 of these every day. Now let's move on to the last question of the test, an important question type, write from dictation. The last question of the test, very important question type, write from dictation. What happens here? In this task, you'll get an audio with a sentence which will be 8 to 16 words long. You will have to type the sentence exactly as you hear it. This task will give you good amount of good points in listening and writing. You get 1 point for each correct word and there's no negative marking. You have to spend 50 seconds to 1 minute on one question. You'll get 3 to 4 of these. So for example, the audio will go on, whatever sentence will be there in the audio, you have to type it. Let's say if they say, I am going to London tomorrow, you have to type it, I am going to London tomorrow. Before the audio starts, you'll have 6 seconds. In these 6 seconds, make sure you're ready with your marker and notepad. Don't straight away type in your answer. Make sure you take your notes first and then type your answer, because audios can be fast. And each and every word here is important. Once the audio starts, do not write the whole sentence at once. Write down the initials. For example, I am going to London tomorrow. Just write IAGTLT and keep on repeating the sentence in your mind. I am going to London tomorrow. Then write going London tomorrow and then type back your sentence. So write initials, write the main words after writing the initials, keep on repeating the sentence in your mind, type your sentence. First word should be capital, at the end full stop. Any proper noun should be capitalized as well. Alright, so this is what you have to do. Write down the initials. Once the audio stops, keep on repeating the sentence. Make sure the spellings are perfect, proper nouns, first word are capitalized, and at the end you place a full stop. Now this is what you have to do in write from dictation. This sounds easy, but you'll get 3 to 4 and audios can be very fast. Make sure you practice 25 to 30 of these every day. This will contribute a lot of points in your listening and writing. Even though the weightage of this particular task has gone down a bit, but still this remains an important question type. 3 to 4 write from dictation before the audio starts. Make sure your pen and notepad are ready. As soon as you listen to the audio, take down initials, complete the sentence or write the main words of the sentence in the notepad. Have a look at the notepad, type in your answer, first word capital, at the end full stop, any proper noun capital, and then proofread it and move on. But there's one trick which I want you to use. Remember, Pearson's guideline clearly says you get 1 point for each correct word, 0 for incorrect. Therefore, you can add as many extra words as you can. This is what I did in my test where I got 90 each after the changes. What do I mean by extra words? Let's say the sentence is I am going to London. I'm not really sure if it's I am going to London or I is going to London, right? Even though I know it's grammatically incorrect, but let's say I'm not sure. What I'll do is I'll write I am is going to London. Whichever words are correct, I'll get points for it. Extra words will not be penalized. Similarly, let's say I'm not really sure about the spellings for London. I think it's London or Londun. I'll write both. Wherever you're doubtful about singular and plural, about articles, about spellings, about capitalization, add extra words. 100% this trick is going to work. I use this. There are no changes to it. It is still working and I'll highly recommend you to use this. But you shouldn't be relying on this. It's not that you're just playing with the words, adding extra words for no reason. What I want you to do is, first of all, listen to the audio, type back your answer, write as much as you remember, and then wherever you're doubtful, add extra words, because you have to finish one question within 50 seconds to 1 minute, not more than that. You'll have 3 to 4 of these. Make sure Write from dictations are 100% correct, and use the trick which I've told you, and you'll only get 1 point for each correct word if your spellings are perfect. So that will be the end of your test. Once you're done with your write from dictation, you'll be done with your test. You'll get 3 or 4. Don't assume you'll just get 3. I've seen students attempting 3 write from dictation and sitting like this, and then they realize they just left with 10 seconds and there's one more question. Do not sit like this until you have clicked on end exam. All right, once you click on end exam, you'll finish your test, you'll go home, relax, take it easy, and if you follow what I've told you, if you have given your best, you will get your desired scores as well. So that is the end of all the chapters which I wanted to cover. Now I've got a practice plan, the score distribution, and few important tips for you which you should know. All right, let's have a look at the marking criteria first. First of all, let's have a look at the score distribution. Remember, even though in PT you get your scores out of 90, the minimum in any module you can get is 10. Let's say if you do not attempt anything, you won't get 0, you'll get 10. So basically each module is out of 80. This is the score distribution. This is the score distribution according to Pearson's guidelines. Pearson has recently revealed a document that this task contributes 8% of speaking. This task contributes 30% of speaking. Based on that, I have made this score distribution. If you look at speaking, personal introduction will not give you any points. Read aloud 8 points in speaking, 12 points repeat sentence, describe image 25 points. Retell lecture 10 points, summarize group discussion 15 points, respond to situation 10 points, and the total is 80 because the minimum you can get is 10. If you do not attempt anything in PT, you'll still get 10, and this comes to 90. Similarly, in writing, summarize written text out of 80, 22 points. Essay 25 points. Summarize spoken text 14 points. Write from dictation 19 points. Total is 80 again. Then we have got reading, summarize written text around 18 points. Reading drop down blanks 22 points. MCQ multiple 4 points. Reading reorder paragraph 7 points. Reading fill in the blanks 15 points. MCQ single and highlight correct summary 2 points each. And highlight incorrect words around 10 points. That's why I was telling you not to waste a lot of time on these ones. Rather focus on the important question types. Alright. Listening. Repeat sentence from speaking 13 points. Retell lecture 11 points. Answer short question 3 points. Summarize group discussion from speaking 16 points. Summarize spoken text from listening 8 points. MCQ multiple 3 points. Listening fill in the blank 6 points. Highlight correct summary MCQ single select missing word 1 point each. That's why I told you not to spend a lot of time. Highlight incorrect words around 7 points. Write from dictation in listening 10 points, but in writing 19 points. Therefore, this is important. The total is 80, and if you add 10, which is a default score in PT, it comes up to 90. What you need to do, you need to understand the marking criteria. First of all, understand which of the question types are important and which are not. You have to manage your time in reading and listening properly. Focus on content relevancy. Gone are the days you can blindly follow template. Human interference is there in describe image, summarize group discussion, read a lecture, respond to situation. Both the writing questions, summarize written text and essay, and listening, summarize spoken text. So you have to make sure you add relevant content. Even if you're using templates or structure, your content should be highly relevant. In listening, do not spend more than 10 seconds around. Do not spend more than 10 to 20 seconds on MCQ single, multiple, and select missing words. Highlight correct summary, you can take around 30 to 40 seconds. Don't stress, take it easy. If I have done it 15 times, if thousands of students are doing it every day, you can do it as well. Take it easy, relax. This is what you should be focusing or prioritizing in practice. 20 repeat sentences every day, 3 describe image, 3 summarize group discussion, 1 essay, 15 drop down blanks, 5 to 10 reorders, 15 drag and drop blanks, 1 summarize spoken text, 10 listening fill in the blanks, 25 write from dictation. This is what you have to practice every day, and if you do so, you'll be fine. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have to practice anything apart from this, but first of all, you need to understand which of the question types are important. If we look from beginning, let's divide into 3 categories. most important, average importance, least importance. Read aloud, average importance. Repeat sentence, extremely important. Describe image, extremely important. Retell lecture, average importance. Answer short question, least important. Summarize group discussion, extremely important. Respond to situation, average importance. Summarize written text and writing essay, extremely important because they give you a lot of points in writing, and summarize written text will give you points in reading as well. From reading drag and drop blanks, drop down blanks, extremely important. Reading reorders, average importance. MCQ single and multiple, least important. Listening, summarize spoken text, highlight incorrect words, write from dictation, extremely important. Listening, fill in the blanks, average importance. Listening, MCQ single, multiple, highlight correct summary, and select missing words, least important. So you have to first focus on the most important ones. Once you're doing good there, then you move on to average importance one, and at the last you have to focus or spend some time with the least important ones as well. Along with this, I'll please request you to take as many mock tests you can. Especially take the free full score mock test, which is available on languageacademy.com.au. It's exactly how your actual test will be. You'll be getting a scorecard, plus you'll be able to see what mistakes you have made, how you have to improve the same, why you have lost points, and how you have to improve. You can take sectional mock test. The website is updated. It will give you a clear picture of why you're not getting the points. The template detector is added. AI is updated as per the recent changes, so you'll get a clear view of where you stand and what you need to work on. If you don't have access to computer, you can download the LAPT exam practice app as well. That will be the end of this video course. I hope the video course was helpful. If it was, do like, share, and subscribe. My only aim, my only motive is to make sure you guys do not waste your time and money, and you guys get your desired scores in the very first go. We have helped more than 50,000 students to achieve their desired scores, and if you need any help, we'll be more than happy to help you. We do provide online classes, on campus classes for PT Academic, PT UKVI, PT Core. We have got 13 sessions running in a day according to different time zones. If you need any help, our campuses are in Australia, in India, in Nepal as well. We have got online classes available according to different time zones. Just send us a message, give us a call. We will be with you and we will give 100% to help you out, like we have helped more than 50,000 students till that. That's it. If the video was helpful, do like, share, and subscribe. That helps the channel to grow and that helps the video to reach the right audience as well. And one request, if you ever get your desired scores watching my videos, do let me know. That is something which motivates me to make even more videos and helps me going on. That's it from this video. I'll wrap it up. Now you can go on languageacademy.com.au and start practicing, or you can download the LAPT exam practice app as well. If you want me to cover anything else, let me know in the comment section and I'll try my best to cover that as well. If you're finding anything difficult, let me know in the comment section. I'll try to reply myself and will try my best to help you out. Thank you. Thank you so much, love, for thank you for everything you have given me over the years. We have got a family of over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, 3 million views on the previous video course, and I hope this video goes well as well. Thank you.